the maximum level expert. She thrives in interstellar riches. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1076, Encountering the Mirage Galaxy 2. Hearing this, even though Behu was such a talkative person, he didn't know what to say. He hadn't seen Huan Meng for a long time, and it seemed that the other party had disappeared since that day. Even when he later ran to the residences of various great monsters for Shenzing, he never met Huan Meng once. You know, Huan Meng likes to visit people the most. Every time he visited other great monsters in the past, he would happen to meet him. Thinking of this, a picture suddenly emerged in his mind. Wait. The long forgotten memory in his mind suddenly appeared at this time. Before you got into trouble, I met Huan Meng. He went out of the cave to bless the newly born little tiger spirits, but he didn't expect to meet Huan Meng not far from the cave entrance. The other party stumbled and couldn't even float steadily. His face was extremely pale, as if he was seriously injured. I thought she was injured, so I stopped and asked a few more questions. He recalled seriously, but she seemed not to know me and stared at me for several seconds with that very cold look. Well, maybe more than several seconds. I just remember that she kept looking at me, which made me feel embarrassed. As he spoke, he began to talk nonsense. Now that I think about it, her eyes were really scary. She acted like she was going to pick up a knife and chop me at the next second. TSK. Luckily I was smart and ran fast, otherwise I would have been hit like you. Hearing this, Shenzing couldn't help but glare at him. Let's get to the point. Don't start arguing again. Okay. Behu rolled his eyes reluctantly. Anyway, she just didn't want to pay attention to me, and she just flew away without saying a word. I was left standing there like an idiot. At the time, I just thought she was scared of the tiger and didn't notice that she was abnormal. As a result, you are now saying that Wen Jiu may have the aura of Huan Meng, and I suddenly remembered that the last time I met Huan Meng, there were two shadows behind her. Although he felt that Huan Meng was very strange at the time, he really didn't think about it more deeply. After all, everyone has a bad mood. What if he happened to run into Huan Meng who was unhappy, and she would look at him with that kind of eyes? So he never mentioned this matter, and even put it behind his mind. It was not until Shenzing finished speaking that he suddenly remembered this matter. After speaking, Shenzing frowned. Two shadows? How could she have two shadows? He kept repeating this question, but Behu couldn't give him an answer. Two shadows. As he repeated it, he felt that something seemed to break through the thick fog in his mind. Yes. Two shadows. He had also seen Huan Meng with two shadows. I remember it. He couldn't suppress his excitement. I first realized that Huan Meng was wrong, because I saw that she had two shadows. Later, I also sensed another kind of breath on her body. He just thought of this, and suddenly a headache came, making it difficult for him to recall. The memory puzzle that was finally pieced together turned into countless fragments and fell at this moment. The picture that originally appeared in his mind disappeared again. The white tiger on the side saw that Shenzing was pale with pain, so he quickly rummaged through the boxes and found a spiritual medicine, then crushed it into powder and stuffed it into the other's mouth. Because he wanted to feed Shenzing with the powder, he could only hold the other in his arms. This led to Wen Jiu seeing a strange picture as soon as he walked into the cave. A sturdy white tiger was half sitting, holding the man who was as cold as a banished immortal in his arms. Don't look. Chu Jian decisively stretched out his hand to cover Wen Jiu's eyes. It's really immoral in broad daylight. Hearing this, Behu turned his head with a confused look. What are you talking about, you son of a bitch? I'm saving people, okay? How come you are so young, but your thoughts are so strange? Hey, wait, where did you come from? Why haven't I seen you before? If he hadn't seen Wen Jiu standing next to this strange young man, he would have blown him out of the cave with a tiger or, you know, not everyone can enter his treasure cave. The reason why Wen Jiu was able to find this place and enter was mainly because he gave him a tiger hair. This tiger hair is like the leaves of Emperor Xiu, an important token to enter his cave. He is my brother, and he has been staying in the Jade Rabbit clan before. When Jiu silently moved to the side, there was something she couldn't see. He was worried about me coming here this time, so he came with me. She knew that Beihu and Shenzing were friends, so she didn't make a fuss. What's wrong with Shenzing? His face is as white as a piece of paper. She walked forward a few steps in confusion, but was blocked by the gold and silver on the ground, so she had to stand still to talk. Looking at the gold, silver and jewelry that filled a cave, she suddenly realized what it meant to be jealous, and changed her beyond recognition. If she could be with these treasures all day, she suddenly felt that it was okay to be a non-human. Well, she suddenly thought it through, and was really grateful to her spiritual mentor Beihu. After she finished speaking, Shenzing half opened his eyes weakly. Nothing. It's just a normal reaction. Before she could speak, she heard Chu Jiayan's answer. Then you are really awesome. This normal reaction is like being buried in the ground. Ha 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 ha. Beihu really couldn't help laughing out loud. You are a good brother, and you are very suitable for my temper. I won't pursue his rash intrusion. Although he always cursed in front of Shenzing, he still didn't dare to curse him. Although Wen Jiu's brother did not swear, what the other party said was particularly to his taste. Hearing this, Shenzing just lifted his eyelids tiredly and was too lazy to even talk back, let alone cast a spell to make Chu Jiayan shut up. Every time he wanted to recall the past, he would have such a splitting headache. So he had long been accustomed to it and had found a lot of spiritual medicines. He had a very good relationship with Beihu, so the other party also stored some spiritual medicines here in case of emergency. However, this kind of spiritual medicine can only relieve headaches and make him not so uncomfortable. In short, it is a temporary solution and not a permanent solution. Let this turtle son have a good rest first. Beihu put Shenzing on the extremely soft feather blanket. What do you and your brother want to see me for? Hearing this, when Jiu pointed to the little tiger in Chu Jiayan's arms, we picked up this little tiger, so we want to ask you, do you know where its family is? Chapter 1077 Encountering the Mirage Galaxy 3. Beihu was stunned when he saw the little tiger. Why is it here? If he remembered correctly, the little tiger should be the cub of the chief of the Flying Tiger clan. He had seen him some time ago. You asked a very good question. When Jiu asked Chu Jiayan to put the little tiger down. When we went out to find friends, we happened to find it in the bushes. Then she briefly explained the whole story so that Beihu could understand what happened to the little tiger. But what she didn't expect was that Beihu actually knew the little tiger and knew the little tiger's family. Beihu jumped easily and landed steadily on the ground, then strode forward and walked around the little tiger several times. This is strange. It doesn't have the smell of other demons. Beihu's golden eyes were full of confusion. Why did it run outside? He really couldn't figure it out, no matter how hard he thought. The little tiger in front of him was the cub of the chief of the Flying Tiger clan. It only had spiritual intelligence and couldn't transform. In simple terms, it was no different from those ordinary animals. Therefore, the chief of the Flying Tiger tribe always kept a close watch on the little tiger and never took the little tiger to places outside the territory of the Flying Tiger tribe. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but slap his forehead and said, "Oh no, something must have happened to the Flying Tiger tribe." He held the little tiger's neck in his mouth and dragged it in front of him. However, the little tiger was the same as usual, blinking his dark eyes and acting cute at him, not looking like he had experienced a disaster at all. But he still couldn't let go of his doubts. He always felt that something bad had happened. Otherwise, how could the little tiger, the cub of the chief, wander around in other places? So he threw the little tiger on his back with force, and then looked at Wen Jiu and said, "I have to go to the Flying Tiger tribe quickly, and I'll ask you to take care of Mirage Star River. Those blue boxes are all spiritual medicines. If he feels unwell again, you can crush them and give them to him." After that, he kicked his legs and ran out of the cave. Seeing this, Wen Jiu couldn't help but raise his eyebrows curiously. In fact, she wanted to go with Beihu, but since the other party had said that, it was hard for her to refuse. so she could only suppress this thought silently and turned around to look at Shenzing lying on the golden mountain. "Long time no see, old Shen," she said while thinking about how to get up. "What's wrong with you?" After saying that, the other party didn't even bother to raise his eyelids. "Nothing, just a little problem." When she heard this, she became more interested. What kind of problem could torture a big demon like Shenzing into a pale paper man? Although the other party closed his eyes tightly, he still saw through her thoughts. "It doesn't matter if I tell you, it's a headache every time I think about the past." She naturally knew that Shenzing had lost his memory, but she didn't know that he had this problem. No wonder no matter how hard Shenzing tried, he couldn't remember too many things from the past. So she didn't ask anything else and just talked about her own things. "You're leaving?" Shenzing opened his eyes immediately upon hearing this. Hearing this, Wen Jiu first estimated in his mind, probably next month. "I've been here for a long time. It's time to go back to see my family and friends." Although she didn't know why Shenzing reacted so strongly, she still explained the general reason to him. On the one hand, it was because she had been out for a long time. Stephanie had finished her exams and returned to planet 3047, but she and Chu Jian were still staying on the desolate planet. On the other hand, it was because she had almost done what she should do and even had some extra gains, so there was no need for her to stay. "Will you come back?" Shenzing said this out of the blue and instantly confused Wen Jiu, who was climbing the gold mountain. She thought that she hadn't done anything bad here, so why did Shenzing look like he was afraid that she wouldn't come back? And the other party's reluctant tone was as if he was worried that she would not pay back the debt. So she asked cautiously, "Old Shen, I don't owe you a debt, do I?" Shenzing was also very weak at this moment, otherwise he would have rolled his eyes and replied, "No, I just asked casually." The main reason was that he was not sure whether Wen Jiu and Huan Meng had any relationship, so he thought it would be better not to tell the other party, to add to his troubles, so he silently swallowed the words that were originally on the tip of his tongue. But just when he wanted to change the subject, he suddenly remembered something. "By the way, where did that crystal ball come from?" Hearing this, Wen Jiu thought that the demon clan didn't know about the outside world, so she simplified the origin of the crystal ball. In a word, she picked it up from someone else. "You can even pick up a spiritual treasure like the moon shadow crystal. Are you a girl of luck?" Shenzing sneered when she heard this. "Some lies can be used to deceive a fool like Behu. You have to know that when there were humans on this planet in the past, a small piece of moon shadow crystal could cause countless people to fight for it. If Wen Jiu could really pick up the moon shadow crystal, then her luck would be top notch. It would not be an exaggeration to call her a woman of luck. But the problem is that this crystal ball was really picked up by Wen Jiu. I'm not lying to you." She sat on the gold nugget helplessly. "I really picked up that crystal ball from someone else. I didn't know it was a moon shadow crystal before. I put it in my bag mainly for a search." When she made a big fuss in the brilliant port, the 3rd military regent sent Ji Shanli, who was also an experimental subject, to deal with her. But in the end, for some reason, the opponent did not use the crystal ball to summon the god of Sulame to help. So she picked up the crystal ball, and later she took it out to study it once. It was just that she accidentally released the god of Sulame that time. Fortunately, she reacted in time and burned the opponent away with a deep sea blue flame. After that, she never studied the crystal ball again. One reason was that she was worried about summoning the god of Sulame again, and the other was that she had too many things to do and had no time. So once this crystal ball was put away, it has been put away until now. If she hadn't been studying formations in the 13th military region that day, she might not have remembered the crystal ball. "So you mean, you picked up this crystal ball in the outside world?" Shenzing forced himself to sit up, and at the same time he took out the crystal ball. After he finished speaking, Wen Jiu nodded in affirmation, which made him frown. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1078 Pendant of Light 1. After all, Shenzing has lived for thousands of years. He naturally knows that the outside world is changing, and that there have been earth-shaking changes outside. Therefore, it is difficult for him to guarantee that the moon shadow crystal is only in this place. The reason why he had such a big reaction was mainly because he felt the breath of Huan Meng on the crystal ball. Point, are you serious? Wen Jiu couldn't help but widen his eyes in surprise, but this crystal bullies. She didn't know how to start for a while. She couldn't say that this was the ball of the god Sulame. Could it be that Huan Meng is the god Sulame? No, she must have thought too much. Although some of Huan Meng's characteristics are similar to those of the god Sulame, but there are still many differences between the two, and there are still many doubts. What is it? Shenzing couldn't help but look over in confusion. This crystal ball should have been modified. It is a little different from the original moon shadow crystal. I can't see the specific effect for the time being, and I need to wait for the opportunity to verify it. Hearing this, Wen Jiu silently complained in his heart. It's normal that you can't see it for the time being, because this thing is used to summon the god of Sulame. Just as she was thinking about how to tell Shenzing about this, the other party's face suddenly changed. Yes, it's this breath. It's like a withered and rotten flower. I have felt it before. What are you talking about? She looked at Shenzing with a confused face. Old Shen, can you speak more directly? I'm stupid and I don't understand. She really didn't know what the other party was talking about, so she asked in this joking way. But Shenzing's voice had just fallen for a while, and his face, which had finally recovered some rosy color, turned pale again at this moment. A more intense pain than before came instantly, and no matter how he used his spiritual power, he couldn't suppress it. He just felt as if he was about to be torn apart. Cold sweat rolled down his forehead like rain, and his reason also disintegrated bit by bit. Just when his consciousness became extremely blurred, someone suddenly pried open his mouth. A bitter taste suddenly spread on the tip of his tongue, making his consciousness return to clarity little by little. Old Shen. Wen Jiu crushed the elixir and stuffed it into Shenzing's mouth. Don't faint, you haven't finished talking yet. It was the first time she saw Shenzing fall ill, and his symptoms were really scary. He was still chatting well in the last second, and he started to have a headache and convulsions in the next second. Although she knew that some amnesia patients would have stress reactions after being stimulated, she felt that Shenzing's condition was a bit too serious. Fortunately, after she stuffed the elixir into Shenzing, his symptoms gradually eased. He no longer sweated all over like before, and the twitching movements gradually stopped. Are you okay? She slapped Shenzing twice with some concern. Can you talk? The other party only blinked weakly, as if to say that he was fine. But she didn't know why. She read the meaning of cursing from Shenzing's eyes. Well, she must have thought too much. So she placed Shenzing on the blanket. Then you should take a good rest first. I will go around with my brother. As soon as she finished speaking, the other party grabbed her wrist. Although the force was not strong, the meaning was clear. You can't speak now, and it's useless for me to stay. Wen Jiu shrugged helplessly. It's rare for me to come to the White Tiger's cave once. Can I take a stroll around? After she finished speaking this time, Shenzing let go of her hand. So she jumped off the golden mountain and landed steadily on the flat ground. She didn't mean to leave, she just wanted to walk around in the cave. Sorry, it's all the child's fault that she has never seen so many gold, silver and jewelry since she was a child, and she really couldn't resist the temptation to look around and touch everywhere. Chu Jian still knew Wen Jiu very well, so he followed him around. Of course, he didn't have his eyes shining like Wen Jiu, nor did he touch everywhere like the other party. He just followed slowly, looking at these exciting treasures. He thought Wen Jiu loved money the most, but he didn't expect Beihu to be even more so. But he felt that if he could give Wen Jiu a chance, he would definitely fill his house with treasures. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but bend his eyes and then raise the corners of his mouth. Who knew that at this moment, he stepped on something? Hiss, what did you step on? Wen Jiu heard a slight snapping sound, which made her gasp. "Let me see quickly, don't step on the big treasure, I really don't have any money." Hearing this, Chu Jian first raised his legs and moved back, and then silently complained in his heart. Wen Jiu is going to be a star master, but he still has the nerve to say that he has no money. This face. It's better not to have it. Fortunately, it wasn't crushed. Wen Jiu quickly picked up the pendant on the ground. Beihu's home is really a treasure house with everything. She carefully looked at the pendant in her hand. The silver frame was faintly shining, and it was inlaid with a teardrop-shaped gem. Well, maybe it was a gem, she was not sure. Anyway, the crystal clear appearance was particularly beautiful, especially under the brilliance of the night pearl. It would actually emit a colorful halo. Seeing this, she couldn't help but look at it curiously for a long time, as if she was fascinated by this pendant. If you like it, take it away," Shenzing's weak voice suddenly sounded. "Anyway, Beihu has many treasures, so this one won't be a problem." Because of the help of the spiritual medicine, he recovered relatively quickly. He was now able to half support his body and see what Wen Jiu and Chu Jian were doing. He saw Wen Jiu staring at the pendant with burning eyes, and he knew that the other party must like such things. Beihu has collected countless treasures, and it would be fine to give one to Wen Jiu. But it was mainly because of his good relationship with Beihu. He knew that the other party would not leave his favorite treasure outside, and would not put the hard to collect things at the bottom of the treasure mountain, so he said these words on his own initiative. Anyway, the pendant is not very important, and it is not Beihu's favorite thing. It is better to give it to Wen Jiu as a favor, so that the other party will not forget them when he turns around. This is not good. Wen Jiu stroked the pendant with mixed feelings. Let's wait for Beihu to come back. I can exchange it with him for something else. Although she didn't know why, she couldn't take her eyes off the pendant as soon as she saw it, but she had a very strong idea in her heart that she must take the pendant away. Chapter 1079 A Pendant 2. Therefore, when she heard what Shenzing said, her first reaction was joy, but then she felt that this was not good. Even if she liked this pendant, she would not take it away without the owner knowing. So she thought about waiting for Beihu to come back, have a good talk with him, and make an equal exchange. Hearing this, Shenzing just nodded slowly. The main reason was that he had a good relationship with Beihu, and he had no idea about these mundane things, so he didn't think so carefully. Since Wen Jiu took the initiative to propose a deal with Beihu, he was too lazy to care about this matter anymore, and let the stingy man and tiger discuss it slowly. Thinking about it, he closed his eyes again. This time the headache was stronger than the last time, which really tortured him unbearably. This also caused him to be unable to remember more things after so many years. Last time, after listening to the memories of the fourth elder, his headache also broke out, but he hid before the attack, and didn't let Wen Jiu see his embarrassment. Because for him, it was really embarrassing to expose his vulnerable side in front of a little human. But he never expected that what was supposed to come would still come. Alas. No matter how powerful the demon tribe is, it will be vulnerable at times, just like the immortals in the past will also fall. Perhaps it was because too much time had passed, or it might be because of amnesia. He actually forgot that most of the immortals in the past were human monks. Those humans went through untold hardships to ascend from the secular world to the immortals. Unfortunately, they finally ushered in destruction. By the way, how did the last human disappear? He seemed to remember that more than 1,000 years ago, he had seen a human who often came to the demon tribe to play. His Shenzing's face turned pale again, and a more severe headache than before came, making him feel like his head was about to explode. Seeing this, Wen Jiu, who was originally admiring a jade ruai, quickly put down the jade ruai and quickly climbed up the golden mountain. She hurriedly found a blue box, took out the spiritual medicine in it and crushed it, and then quickly opened Shenzing's mouth and threw the crushed spiritual medicine in. After about a cup of tea, Shenzing's condition gradually improved. Old Shen, were you thinking about the past again? When she saw that the other's face finally turned red, she raised her hand to wipe the thin sweat on her face. If you are not in good health, don't make trouble, just lie down honestly. She was really afraid that Shenzing would die, and how would she explain to Behu at that time? And she didn't know how to save the monster clan, so she just hoped that Shenzing could stay well. After the words fell, the other party just sighed lightly. Don't think about it. I will try not to think about it in the future. That's not what I meant. She saw that Shenzing rarely showed a wronged expression and suddenly felt that she had said something wrong. I just think you are not very well and you can't find the symptom of your headache. When she said this, an idea suddenly popped up in her mind. Although she had never learned how to heal the demon race before, what if the method of healing the demon race is similar to that of healing humans? So she came up with a bold idea. Old Shen, if you can speak, tell me when you had this headache, and what other symptoms do you have besides the headache every time it occurs? Hearing this, Shenzing slowed down a little, and then slowly said, it seems that, after I was seriously injured, and lost my memory, every time I want to recall what happened before that, I will have such a splitting headache. He paused when he said this, and then continued, in fact, I have always been suspicious of this headache. I always feel that its appearance is deliberately interfering with me. Otherwise, why didn't it appear earlier or later, but appeared when I was recalling the past? What you said makes sense. Wen Jiu said as he took Shenzing's pulse. Old Shen, you still need to be treated. If you are sick, your body is too weak. It doesn't look like the physical condition of a big demon at all. Although she had never taken the pulse of a demon before, she felt that a demon like Shenzing should be strong and have a calm pulse. But not only was his pulse abnormally disordered, but he also had the weakness of a dying person. If Shenzing continued to drag on like this, he might really face his demise. I would like to treat him, Shenzing sighed when he heard this, but none of us demons know how to make pills, and chewing raw spiritual medicine can only have a temporary effect. No demon knows how to make pills, and he was helpless about this. The main reason was that they rarely got sick on weekdays, and when they were injured, they were used to crushing herbs and paste them directly. So over time, no demon learned to make pills, and if they needed them, they would go to human monks to buy them. But no one thought that one day humans would perish. Although they could still chew raw herbs and spiritual medicines to cure diseases, the effect was far inferior to those pills made by humans. The effect of whole herbs and spiritual medicines was too overbearing, and they had to resist their own toxicity. Therefore, the demons are reluctant to chew medicine unless necessary. In order to cure and relieve headaches, he searched for all the effective spiritual medicines. Unfortunately, it was useless and only treated the symptoms, but not the root cause. Wen Jiu was stunned after hearing this. You demons don't know how to make pills. Well, Shenzing replied confidently, we are used to chewing spiritual medicines raw. He didn't want to say that the demons were too lazy to learn, so he used the word habit to perfunctorily. The next second, Wen Jiu smiled and said, what's the good of chewing spiritual medicines raw? How about you take out your treasured spiritual medicines and let me make them into pills for you? Are you serious? He looked at the other party in disbelief. You can actually make pills. He knew that Wen Jiu was a cultivator, and the other party could absorb spiritual energy and fly with spiritual power. But he never thought that Wen Jiu could actually make pills. After saying this, the other party nodded confidently. Of course I can make an elixir, but I have to understand your symptoms first, so that I can prescribe the right medicine. This was a pleasant surprise to him. However, after a moment of surprise, he calmed down. If you can really make an elixir that can cure my headache, I will give you the pendant you liked before. Don't worry, I will have a good talk with Behu. However, just as he finished speaking, a white figure rushed in. The next second Behu's rough voice sounded in the cave. What treasure of mine do you want to touch? Chapter 1080 The Situation of the Flying Tiger Tribe 1. It's just a pendant, it's nothing to you. And it's a good deal to exchange the pendant for the elixir. Shenzing had already noticed Behu's return, so he said that before, just to let the other party hear it. He didn't mean to take Behu's things for free, he wanted to pay for it out of his own pocket. Of course, the premise is that Wen Jiu can really refine the elixir to cure the disease. After saying that, Behu was so angry that his tiger whiskers stood up. Hammer. Even if it's just a pendant, it appeared in the treasure mountain, which means it is very valuable. It's impossible for you to take my things for free, unless you... Wait a minute, what did you say to exchange the pendant for? The elixir? Did I hear it right? He felt very angry at first. How could Shenzing give his treasure to others? But when he remembered the second half of the sentence, his anger dissipated in an instant. Pearls. Those are hundreds of times more precious than the pendant. Even a demon like him who likes to collect treasures only has less than 10 high quality pills. But the main reason is that when he had nothing to do in the past, he liked to grab a handful of pills and stuff them into his mouth as candy pills, so his stock of pills was not very large. Yes, it's to exchange the pills for the pendant. Shenzing glanced at Beihu with disdain. Do you want to do this deal? Hearing this, Beihu immediately smiled like a flower. Do it. No one can snatch it from me. After he finished speaking, he quickly climbed up the golden mountain and showed a flattering smile to Wen Jiu. If he had known that Wen Jiu had this ability, he would definitely pull him to become sworn brothers. Well, it seems that it is not too late to become sworn brothers now. Seeing this, Wen Jiu pursed her lips and smiled slightly. Old Shen, I haven't figured out the cause of your illness yet, so whether this pill can be refined is still unknown. She had only used her hand to feel Shenzing's pulse at that time, and the specific situation would only be known after she used her spiritual power to explore. So she briefly explained it first, and then used her spiritual power, separated a thin strand of it, and invaded the other party's body. The strand of spiritual power quickly traveled to the location of the demon pill, and saw that the demon pill, which should have been as bright as a pearl, was extremely dim, and there was an elusive black mist lingering around. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't get rid of the black mist. Just when she wanted to try another way, the black mist suddenly turned into a big snake, and before she could react, it suddenly opened its mouth and swallowed the strand of spiritual power. Wen Jiu's face suddenly turned pale, and she fell backwards at the same time. Seeing this, the white tiger hurried over and pushed her back with its big furry head. If the other party's reaction was a second slower, she would have fallen off this golden mountain. What happened to you? Beihu asked worriedly. Aren't you treating Lao Shen? Why did you suddenly fall backwards? I was so scared that I almost had a heart attack. She swallowed the fishy sweetness in her mouth first, and then answered seriously. There must be something wrong with Lao Shen's demon pill. Normal demon pills are as bright as pearls, but his demon pill is extremely dim, and there is a black mist lingering around it. I wanted to push away the black mist, so that I could take a closer look at Lao Shen's demon pill, and see why it became like that. As a result, I was suddenly attacked by the black mist. If I hadn't defended myself quickly enough, I'm afraid I would have suffered a more serious backlash. When using spiritual power to explore, the most taboo thing is to be interrupted. If she hadn't resisted in time just now, she would be half a useless person now. Hearing this, Beihu and Shenzing were both shocked. The former did not expect such serious consequences, while the latter was shocked by his own situation. How could this happen? Is my end coming? Shenzing was rarely so sad. Although he knew that his physical condition was not good, he never thought it would be so serious. In fact, it stands to reason that he has lived for so many years and has long been indifferent to death. But he didn't know why. He just didn't want to leave like this. I haven't seen DXIU wake up, nor have I recovered my previous memories. He lay on the blanket and muttered absent-mindedly. How could this happen? Why is this happening? Seeing this, Beihu couldn't help but feel a little bitter in his heart. Although he understood that everything in the world will disappear with the passage of time, he was still very reluctant to leave the world and turn into a handful of dust. Therefore, he could understand Shenzing's feelings. Maybe this is what humans say, the death of the rabbit makes the fox mourn. No, no, no. Old Shen cannot die. He immediately shook his head, trying to get rid of these strange thoughts. When? Can't you refine pills? I have a lot of herbs and spiritual medicines. I'll give them all to you. You can refine whatever you want, as long as you can save old Shen. He was lazy, greedy, and stingy by nature, so few demons were willing to be friends with him. Shenzing and DXIU were his only two good friends. Now he had lost one, and he couldn't lose the second one. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled helplessly. She didn't conclude that Shenzing would die, so why did he and Beihu suddenly become depressed boys? She just said that there was a problem with Shenzing's demon pill, and the source must be found and solved as soon as possible. But Beihu said so she shouldn't refuse. After all, herbs are easy to find, but spiritual medicines are hard to find. She hasn't used spiritual medicines to refine pills yet, but she has not yet solved the problem of the furnace explosion. I hope that Shenzing and Beihu will not be scared. So the two demons happily reached an agreement and decided that Wen Jiu would first search for demon pills for Shenzing and then choose which pill to use to treat the symptoms. I have to go downstairs to meditate and relax, Wen Jiu said as he slipped down the golden mountain. Otherwise I can't find demon pills for Shenzing. Although she had just made a timely defense, she was still injured by the black fog. Therefore, she needed to meditate and relax herself for a while. Hearing this, Beihu followed and ran down. I used to think it was fun to run around on the golden mountain, but today I want to flatten the golden mountain after tossing around. It was tiring enough for him to send the little tiger to the flying tiger clan, and when he came back, he had to follow Wen Jiu to climb up and down the golden mountain. It was really tiring. By the way, brother tiger, did you send the little tiger back? Wen Jiu was looking for a suitable place to meditate and suddenly remembered that the little tiger didn't come back with him. He sighed when he heard this. Look at my memory. I almost forgot. I sent the little tiger back, but its parents were not in the territory. And when I went there, I found something strange. I don't know if I was overthinking it. Chapter 1081 The Situation of the Flying Tiger Tribe 2. Afterwards, Beihu told what he had seen and heard in the Flying Tiger Tribe. He knew that he was not very smart and his mind was not as smart as Shenzing, so he wanted him to help analyze it. He originally wanted to hand the little tiger to the Flying Tiger Tribe and leave, but he did not expect that the chief of the Flying Tiger Tribe was not in the territory. Although a tiger spirit explained to him that the chief had gone out hunting, he still felt very strange. Because the Flying Tiger Tribe has always been under his control, even if he has been in the cave for a long time, he knows some major events in the tribe. For example, the wife of the chief has always been weak and has been relying on various soups and medicines for these years. Unless it is necessary, the other party will not even leave the cave, but just stay in it to take good care of his body. Therefore, when the tiger spirits said that the chief took his wife out hunting together, he felt strange, no matter how he thought about it. And I saw the reaction of those tiger spirits. I feel that they don't know that Ding Ding is missing at all. When he said this, he couldn't help but pout in confusion. First, the chief and his wife went out for no reason, and then the chief's son Ding Ding was accidentally lost. By the way, Ding Ding is the real name of the little tiger. Even a tiger with thick nerves like him can sense that something is wrong. But if it is said that there is an internal fight in the Flying Tiger clan, there is no need for those tiger spirits to hide it from him. He never cares about the internal fights among the demon tribes, as long as they don't make too much noise. After all, not every demon tribe is harmonious internally, and he is not a tiger who likes to meddle in other people's affairs. He just needs to ensure that the tigerage is stable and harmonious. Besides, internal fights among demon tribes are not uncommon. Even the weak demon tribes living in the green grass garden will have such a situation. When you mention this, it reminds me of something. Shenzing was better now, so he supported himself with one hand and sat up. Those tiger spirits of the Flying Tiger clan have appeared frequently in my green grass garden recently, which has caused dissatisfaction among the demon tribes under my command. He wanted to tell Beihu about this before, but there were too many things to do, and it was too complicated, so he forgot about it for a while. Just as the other party mentioned the Flying Tiger tribe, he mentioned it as well. Really? What are these idiots doing in the green grass garden? Isn't the huge tigerage enough for them to play with? Beihu was a little angry when he heard this. He knew that the people living in the green grass garden were all weak monsters, so he had previously warned the monsters in the tigerage not to go to the green grass garden to scare the little monsters, unless it was something important. He didn't expect that there were monsters who didn't listen to him. Did they think that he had slept in the cave for too long and had turned from a tiger into a sick cat? Thinking about it, he sharpened his claws angrily, as if he was going to rush to the flying tiger tribe to ask questions. Seeing this, Shenzing just sighed lightly. "It's late today, you can ask tomorrow." Although he intuitively thought that there must be something wrong with the flying tiger tribe, he still didn't want Behu to be involved inexplicably. So it's better to wait until his body is better, and then he will accompany the other party to take a look. Anyway, those little demons can't make a big storm, and with him and Behu here, they can definitely solve the problem. Okay, then I'm going to sleep." With Shenzing's words, Behu suppressed his anger and jumped back to his nest to lie down. Well, a luxurious nest made of fine brocade. This episode passed quickly, and when Jiu finished meditating under the Golden Mountain, the spiritual power in her body became active again, making her feel comfortable and radiant. She felt that she could use her spiritual power to explore 10 more times without any problem. But now Behu went to rest, and Shenzing also looked tired. So she took out a sleeping bag first, let Chu Jian, who had been with her for a long time, rest, and then tiptoed up the Golden Mountain. "Old Shen, if you are sleepy, go to sleep. It is just right that you relax, which will be convenient for me to investigate." After these words came out, Shenzing, who was trying to stay awake, immediately relaxed and fell asleep in less than half a minute. Seeing this, Wen Jiu closed his eyes and concentrated, separated a trace of spiritual power, and began to investigate again. It was still the same as what she had sensed before. Shenzing's demon pill was surrounded by black fog. She first transformed her spiritual power into the thickness of a hair, and then tried to find a breakthrough point in this thick black fog. But as she was searching, she suddenly found something wrong. Why did she feel that the black fog covering Shenzing's demon pill was very similar to the black fog she had cleared from Chu Jian's body before? But this discovery was not too bad, because she had successfully cleared the black fog in Chu Jian's body before. She could be considered to have experience. She could use this experience to deal with Shenzing's black fog. However, the black fog in the body of the Mirage River was extremely aggressive, and if she wanted to remove it, she had to subdue it. So a trace of spiritual power might not be enough, and she needed to inject more spiritual power. Thinking about it, she tried it with all her heart. Time passed slowly, and soon it was from the time when the moon rose to the time when the morning sun appeared. After a whole night of confusion in the dream, the Mirage River woke up with a feeling of open-mindedness and clarity. It was as if the fog that had been covering him suddenly dissipated. Such a change surprised him very much, which made him subconsciously call out, "Wen Jiu." Wen Jiu was lying on his back on the gold nugget and sleeping soundly, and he was wearing a thick black coat. If he remembered correctly, it seemed to be the clothes of his brother. Sure enough, he turned his head and saw Chu Jian wearing only a woolen sweater, sitting quietly under the gold mountain and peeling fruit. So he flew down the Golden Mountain, landed beside the other person and said, "When did she fall asleep?" "About 4 or 5 o'clock. Chu Jian put the peeled peach on a plate beside him. "Every time she uses up her spiritual power, she gets very sleepy. If you have anything to say, wait until later, and don't disturb her." Because when Jiu had used spiritual power to probe him before, he knew that it was very consuming for the other person. Hearing this, Shenzing rarely sang a different tune. "Okay, then I'll take this opportunity to go to the territory of the Flying Tiger clan with Behu." He originally wanted to wait a few days before going to the Flying Tiger clan, because every time he had a headache, he would be weak for several days before he could recover. I don't know what Wen Jiu did last night that made him recover in just half a day. So he thought that, while the other person was still awake, he would quickly go to the Flying Tiger clan with Behu to check the situation. Chu Jian had no objection to this. He just nodded and continued to peel the peach. Anyway, he didn't care what Shenzing was going to do, as long as the other party didn't do anything bad, while Wen Jiu was asleep. Chapter 1082 Star-Lord Wen Jiu 1. When Wen Jiu woke up, it was already sunset. She felt groggy and ached all over, as if she had been beaten by 100 people. Just when she wanted to complain, a picture suddenly flashed through her mind. In the blurry white, a pair of azure blue eyes appeared. It looked like a human or an animal, and she could not tell them apart. However, this strange picture was fleeting, as elusive as sand carried by the wind. She could not help but sit cross-legged in a daze, trying to find the picture. However, no matter how hard she tried to recall, she could not remember anything more. Awake. Chu Jian came over with a plate of peaches. I didn't expect you to be so sleepy. You woke up after the sun went down. After Shenzing and Beihu left the cave, he carried Wen Jiu down the tall golden mountain and let him rest on the flat ground. The golden mountain was too high, not very stable, and piled with all kinds of things, so it was not very comfortable to sleep. Only creatures like the white tiger who love money would like to nest in the gold nuggets. Well, actually Wen Jiu is the same. He still remembers that when he went to hug someone before, the other party held a piece of jade tightly and refused to let go. That can't be helped. It consumes too much energy and needs to rest. Wen Jiu has always been a person who lives in the present. Since he can't remember it, he doesn't think about it. Where are Lao Shen and Beihu? Could these two monsters run away? Why did she not see the monsters when she woke up? After she finished speaking, she heard Chu Jian reply. They went to the territory of the Flying Tiger clan to check the situation. She was relieved when she heard this, and then she took a peach and started to eat it. She didn't know when Shenzing and Beihu would come back. Since there was nothing to do at the moment, she might as well go to the Star Network to handle her work. Alas, she is worthy of being dedicated to her job. As the saying goes, people who work hard will always gain something. As soon as Wen Jiu opened the light curtain panel, he received a big surprise. Mr. Ming of Wuiao Food, the auction of the unregistered uninhabited planet Z88 has ended. The star coins for Z88 were even less than I expected, only 99 million star coins. But there is still a handling fee of 5 million, so the total cost is still about 100 million. Mr. Ming of Wuiao Food, I participated in the auction as your mother's agent, so the subsequent procedures have to be done by your mother online. But you can rest assured that I will still help. There is just one problem right now. Z88 needs a new name before it can go through the next registration process. Do you plan to name it yourself, or will the federal headquarters name it? Seeing this, Wen Jiu decisively replied that she wanted to name it herself. This is the planet she bought with her own money, so of course she has to name it herself. This is the name. What should I choose? Jiu is rich. Why not just take the star with star coins all over the ground? Mr. Ming of Wuiao Food, don't you find it difficult to pronounce it yourself? She felt that what Ming Yehan said made sense, so she thought about it again. Jiu Yao Chen Wangun, I thought of it. Just call it the star of making money. Mr. Ming of Wuiao Food, maybe you can give up the homophonic pun brother Harry. Come here and judge. She bit her lip and looked at Chu Jian. Ming Yehan said that my naming skills are too rubbish. After the words fell, the other party chuckled. Although I really want to stand on your side, Ming Yehan is right this time. Okay, she shouldn't ask Chu Jian for comfort. So after racking her brains, she sent Ming Yehan a new name. She wanted to prove that her naming skills were still quite powerful. Jiu Yao Chen Wangun, I've decided. Just call it the star of attracting wealth and treasures. I don't care. I want to call it this. In fact, she rarely played tricks on weekdays. Maybe it was because of the double blow from Ming Yehan and Chu Jian that she rarely showed her temper. It was unknown whether Ming Yehan was speechless or not, as he did not reply for a long time after she sent the message. So she clicked on Xingbo and prepared to post the video edited by Lulu on the homepage of Xingbo. Although she had not been live streaming much recently, she had enough materials left before. Therefore, Lulu would send an edited video every once in a while, asking her to post it on the homepage of Xingbo and Bacaliv to increase her presence. However, she had just opened Xingbo when she received a smart push. Shock. A princess took off her dress and became a cook to escape marriage. Click to see the mental journey of the rebellious princess. Wen Jiu wondered that she had never seen anything strange on Xingbo, so why did she receive such a smart push? However, with nothing to do, she clicked on this smart push. Anyway, it was just to kill time, so she could watch anything. Frontline reporter ZHU Erkang, hello, brothers and sisters. The restaurant of the little princess of Yunhei planet is about to open. Although I don't know why a princess wants to be a chef, I'm lucky enough to get an invitation letter for the opening day. With this invitation letter, I can enter the restaurant to eat on the same day. It is said that the little princess has inherited the true teachings of the well-known food anchor Gong Zifa. However, the authenticity of it still needs to be verified by me. So, brothers and sisters, remember to pay attention. We will broadcast the Xingbo live on the opening day. Wen Jiu quickly read the Xingbo post and silently cursed the title party in her heart. But she still captured the key information. Could this little princess be her number 3? She still remembered that when she was rumored before, Lulu said that a little princess spoke for her. And the other party also mentioned at the time that the little princess was the number 3 in her live broadcast room. Thinking of this, she searched on Xingbo. There are really many Xingbo posts about this little princess, and she didn't know where to start for a while. Just when she wanted to click on Xingbo to check, she suddenly received a private message from Xingbo. Cian Star, hello, Sister Fake. I'm your loyal fan, Haixing. Do you remember what I said before? That I want to open a restaurant? In 10 days, my restaurant will be officially opened. Because the dishes in the restaurant are all made according to your recipes, I would like to invite you to attend the opening ceremony of the restaurant. One is to let everyone know the origin of these dishes, and the other is to show my respect for you from the bottom of my heart. I just don't know if you have the time to come and participate. If you are willing, I will arrange a private interstellar spaceship pickup and a 10-star hotel for you. All expenses will be borne by me. You just need to bring a good mood. Seeing this, Wen Jiu swallowed subconsciously. She has never stayed in a 10-star hotel. The most important thing is that there is not even a 10-star hotel on planet 3047. Chapter 1083 Star-Lord Wen Jiu 2. However, after thinking about it, Wen Jiu finally rejected the invitation of the little princess. Although she was very tempted by the free travel, she really didn't have time to go. So she first expressed her gratitude to the little princess, and then briefly explained the reason why she couldn't go. Jiu Yao Chuang Wan Qian. Anyway, I wish you a good opening. You can send me a few pictures of the restaurant, and I will help you promote it on Xingbo. In this way, you don't have to worry about someone criticizing the dishes, and I can also take advantage of your popularity. Hahaha. She knew the reason why the little princess invited her. On the one hand, it was out of respect, and on the other hand, she was worried that there would be marketing accounts that would use the dishes as a black spot. After all, her previous incident with Leo Zhu was a hot topic, causing those food anchors who use the recipes she posted to add her name in their live broadcasts or videos, fearing that she would treat them like Leo Zhu. Although the starting point was good, she was still a little speechless. She didn't think that those recipes were exclusive to her, and others had to indicate the source when they use them. The main reason why she had a dispute with Leo Zhu was because the other party blamed her. In short, as long as those anchors don't provoke her, she won't care about anything. Cian Star's rabbit crying expression. Okay then Sister Fake, if you are free in the future, you must come to my restaurant to taste it. What I said just now will always count. When you want to come to Yunhei planet, just tell me in advance. I will definitely arrange it for you comfortably. Cian Star's rabbit dancing expression. Then. Sister Fake, can I add you as a Star Network friend? I have been your loyal fan since you launched the Snowflake Crisp. Of course, if it is not convenient for you, forget it. I will not force it. Seeing this, Wen Jiu gave her own Star Network account very readily. Although she and the little princess had never met before, she felt that the other party had a good temper and was very much to her taste. Therefore, adding a Star Network friend was not a difficult task. After adding Star Network friends, she and the little princess chatted more and more. If she hadn't seen Shenzhen coming back, she would have definitely continued chatting with him. Old Shen, how did the matter go? Why didn't Beihu come back with you? After saying that, Shenzhen couldn't help but sigh heavily. Don't mention it, Beihu. That big fool, he felt a headache when he thought about the Flying Tiger tribe, so he really didn't know how to tell Wen Jiu. Fortunately, the other party didn't ask any more questions, but just asked him to take a good rest first and sort out his thoughts before talking. So he floated in the air, thinking about how to tell the story. It wasn't until the crescent moon was hanging that he told what happened in the Flying Tiger tribe. When he and Behu rushed to the Flying Tiger tribe together, they happened to run into a tiger spirit sneaking around. After his interrogation, he learned that Ding Ding, who Behu sent back to the Flying Tiger tribe yesterday, was thrown out by the elders of the tribe today. So he and Behu went to find poor Ding Ding first, and then returned to the Flying Tiger tribe to find those elders. At this point, the veil covering the internal strife of the Flying Tigers was unveiled, and the truth about the disappearance of the clan leader and his wife was also revealed. In short, Behu is still staying in the Flying Tigers to suppress it, and he won't be back for a while. Hearing this, Wen Jiu couldn't help but feel a little angry. Just let them fight internally. What's the big deal about losing someone else's child? It's a matter between adult monsters. Why bother involving the cubs? Besides, the clan leader and his wife have been devoted to the Flying Tigers for many years, and even Shenzing praised them for being very dedicated to their duties. As a result, those elders, for their own interests, not only fought internally but also persecuted other people's cubs. Such behavior is really a bit disgusting. Then should we go to the Flying Tiger tribe to help? She took the initiative to suggest to Shenzing, my brother is very experienced in dealing with internal strife. If you don't believe me, you can ask the Blue Bad tribe. However, the other party shook his head to refuse. No, Behu has been too lazy to go out these years, which does not mean that he has degenerated into a sick cat. With his ability, it can be said that it is easy to deal with these tiger spirits. It's just that he has to find the tribe leader and his wife first, so he can't get rid of those tiger spirits for the time being. Although Behu now looks careless, it was not luck that made him one of the 4 great beasts. That's why he didn't continue to interfere in the affairs of the Flying Tiger tribe and let Behu deal with it himself. Okay, Wen Jiu nodded when he heard this. Then let's talk about your business. I helped you clear some of the black fog last night, so that I was able to successfully detect your demon pill. She spent a lot of spiritual power last night to clear a small part of the black fog. If the spiritual energy in this place was not very abundant, with her current foundation building cultivation, she would not be able to hold on until the black fog was cleared, and would suffer a second and more serious backlash. There are many cracks on your demon pill. If you don't take the pill to heal it, I'm afraid you. She paused for a moment. When she said this, I'm afraid you will go to paradise. Also, I suspect your headache is caused by the damage to the demon pill and the black fog, because I found that the black fog is constantly eroding the demon pill along the cracks. So if you want to cure the headache, you must repair the demon pill and remove the black fog. Hearing this, Shenzing thought for a while, and then replied, tell me, what should I do? He didn't expect Wen Jiu to really find the root cause of the disease. This matter greatly exceeded his expectations. Since the other party said so much in detail, he would trust him for once. I can help you refine pills, but you have to pay for the herbs and spiritual medicines. I'm so poor that I don't even have a blade of grass, Wen Jiu said, pretending to squeeze out 2 tears. Taking pills can slowly repair your demon pill, but if you want to completely remove the black fog, you still need your own efforts. The main reason is that Shenzing's cultivation is far beyond hers. If it were in the past, she could help him remove all the black fog. But now she has only reached the foundation building stage, and she really can't help, so she can only let Shenzing solve it himself. I will refine pills for you to quickly restore your spirit, and pills to repair your demon pill, and nourish your danshan, she said while searching for the alchemy furnace in the wisdom ring space. When the time comes, you will take the repair pill first to replenish your demon pill a little, and then take the pill to restore your spirit, and use your spiritual power to remove the black fog. It's time for the exciting pill refining again. I hope it won't explode too badly this time, otherwise you will lose face. Today's first update has been successfully delivered. Please check it out, little angels. Chapter 1084 Don't Explode 1. It must be said that there are really many treasures in the White Tiger Cave. It only took Shenzing an incense stick of time to find all the herbs and spiritual medicines he needed. So when Jiu found an open space outside the cave, set up the alchemy furnace, and asked Shenzing and Chujian to retreat 10 meters away before starting to make the elixir, she seemed to pick up a handful of spiritual medicines casually and threw them all into the huge elixir furnace. Then, a blue flame danced at her fingertips. With a slight wave of her hand, the blue flame flew out and burned fiercely under the elixir furnace. Shenzing hadn't seen humans making elixirs for a long time. He was fascinated by Wen Jiu's extremely skillful movements, as if he remembered the days when the immortals were still there. He remembered that there seemed to be a beautiful woman who always liked to come to the demon clan's territory to play and would distribute various elixirs to the big and small demon clans. Even a big demon like him who didn't need elixirs much could get a few round and plump elixirs from them. Unfortunately, it was too long ago, and he couldn't remember the man's name. He only remembered that he had long hair like snow and a pair of blue eyes like the sea. As he thought about it, he suddenly realized something. When he recalled the past this time, he didn't have a headache again. It seems that Wen Jiu's method is really effective, and the other party is more powerful than he thought. However, this thought didn't last long before it was dissipated in the rumbling explosion. Looking at the blazing flames and the scorched grass, Shenzing was stunned for a while. Although he knew that there was a risk of furnace explosion when refining pills, he didn't expect the furnace to explode so suddenly. The next second, when Jiu walked out of the thick black smoke, the other party's short platinum hair fluttered in the wind, and there was a faint silver light in his grey-blue eyes. The silver light was fleeting, as if he had seen it wrong. Seeing this, he couldn't help but float forward with worry, but someone was faster than him. What's going on? Chujian hurriedly wiped Wen Jiu's face with his clothes, and then half knelt down to look at him carefully from top to bottom. Aren't you refining the elixir? How did you become a genius in explosions? After saying that, Wen Jiu wiped the black ash on his face first. Ahem. Don't panic. Don't panic. This is normal. She was used to the explosion of the furnace and didn't think there was anything wrong, but she didn't expect to scare the man and the monster so much. So she quickly took out the elixir in her arms, trying to divert the attention of Shenzing and Chujian. However, Chujian ignored her at all. What normal situation? Can it be called normal to blow yourself up like this? Yeah. Shenzing on the side was also very worried. Don't refine the elixir and refine yourself to death. When she heard this, she smiled awkwardly. Listen to my explanation. I have exploded the furnace more than once or twice. I have long been used to it. She also knew that there were risks in her alchemy, so she would not refine the elixir unless it was necessary. If it wasn't for Shenzing saying that the demon tribe didn't know how to make pills, she wouldn't have taken such a big risk to go into battle herself. But she was really used to blowing up the furnace, so this matter was really nothing to her. And even though she blew up the furnace, she was still very good at making pills. Come on, take this furnace of healing pills. She put the pills into a porcelain bottle and handed it to Shenzing. You two just stay where you are. I'll make another furnace of pills, enough for old Shen to eat for a few months. Repairing the demon pill can't be rushed. It needs to be repaired bit by bit. Therefore, she estimated that refining one furnace of healing pills and another furnace of pills to repair the demon pills would be enough. But just when she was about to find a new alchemy furnace and return to the previous position to make pills, she was grabbed by Shenzing. What kind of spiritual root do you have? The other party's eyes were full of doubt. I remember that only fire spiritual roots can refine pills. Is it because there is something wrong with your spiritual root that causes your furnace to explode frequently when you refine pills? Hearing this, Wen Jiu first shook his hand away and then answered, this has nothing to do with spiritual roots. I'm a rare dual element of fire and wood. My master back then. Oops, she said it casually. She quickly glanced at Chujian, but the other party was not confused, just waiting for her to continue. In short, it is definitely not a problem with spiritual roots. She coughed a few times pretending to be calm. Wait until I refine this furnace of pills, and then study why my furnace exploded. She didn't want to stay in Meng healing for too long, or to be more precise, she didn't want to stay in Desolate Star for too long. because when she communicated with Ming Yehan before, the other party said that the auction of Desolate Star had been completed and various procedures would be handled next. Although the main person to handle the procedures was Yu Ruman, she still had to go back to get an authorization of flying so that she could take over the planet when she came of age. So she just wanted to return to planet 3047 as soon as possible and complete the process she was supposed to go through. Besides, she had already blown up so many things and sent them back to the furnace. Even her master couldn't find the main reason, and she felt that Shenzing would be even more difficult to find. So she left Shenzing and Chu Jian where they were and ran back to the charred place before to make pills. Seeing this, the man and the demon didn't know what to say. They just stood there depressed and looked at the place not far away where Wen Jiu was refining pills. After just a few seconds, a wisp of smoke appeared. I hope it won't explode this time. Chu Jian couldn't help but muttered worriedly. It's stupid enough to begin with. What if it explodes into a fool? Hearing this, Shenzing on the side couldn't help but nod and agree. Yeah, it's not very smart to begin with. It's hard to deal with if it explodes into a fool. You're not smart. Chu Jian's eyes were stained with a layer of indifference. If it weren't for Wen Jiu, you wouldn't be able to save your life. He could say that Wen Jiu was stupid, but Shenzing couldn't. Besides, he didn't really think Wen Jiu was stupid. He just felt that the other party didn't have to do this. They didn't know Shenzing very well. At most they could be called ordinary friends. He couldn't do anything that threatened his life for an ordinary friend, so he thought that Wen Jiu was a little stupid for doing this. After saying that, Shenzing snorted coldly. They are not real brothers and sisters. Look at how protective you are of your child. Wen Jiu could use the brother-sister theory to deceive others, but he couldn't deceive him anyway. Because he can sense the breath of everything in the world, but he didn't sense the same breath in Wen Jiu and Chu Jian. So he knew that the two were not siblings, but he never exposed them. However, just as they were bickering, a familiar rumbling sound suddenly came. No need to look further, it must be Wen Jiu's explosion again. Today's second update has also been successfully delivered. Thank you little angels for your support. 030. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1085 Don't Explode 2. After a night of hard work, Wen Jiu finally finished refining the required elixir. She first let Shenzing take a pill to repair the demon pill, and then taught him how to circulate spiritual energy to enhance absorption. Then she told Shenzing how to use spiritual power to dispel the black fog. In short, after everything was done, she was relieved and fell asleep. Because she was busy all night, she slept until sunset. Are you going back to the Snow Fox clan? Shenzing saw Wen Jiu packing up, so he floated down from the Golden Mountain and asked, will you play in Menghu Ridge for a few more days? After the words fell, the other party nodded. I'm going back, or to be more precise, I'm going home. Hearing this, he couldn't help feeling a little lost, as if a good friend was about to leave. Although he had always regarded Wen Jiu as a weak human who needed protection, he now regarded him as a friend as important as DXIU. Therefore, he suddenly felt empty, as if something was missing in his heart. Don't be so sad. When Jiu saw the depressed look on Shenzing's face, I will definitely come here again in the future. After all, hehe, this planet will be mine soon. As soon as she finished speaking, the other party was surprised and said, what do you mean by that? What do you mean this planet will be yours soon? Hearing this, she had to explain to Shenzing in detail. Although the other party had long known that the changes in the outside world were very big, he didn't know that it was so big that planets could be bought and sold. Sure enough, people still need to get in touch with new things more often and can't trap themselves in one place. I don't know if Shenzing was shocked. After she explained, he didn't say anything for a long time. So she didn't disturb him for the time being and just continued to pack up with Chu Jian. She planned to go back to the Snow Fox clan to pick up the two little foxes, and then take the monsters who wanted to go with her, and then set off to return to planet 3047. But she had just packed her things when she heard Shenzing say, "Can I leave with you?" That's inappropriate. She couldn't help but widen her eyes in surprise. "Aren't you the great demon who protects King Ko Garden? If you leave, what will happen to King Ko Garden?" The future of King Ko Garden is one thing, and it's inconvenient for her to take Shenzing with her. The other party is not as easy to manage as the little demons. It will be embarrassing if she accidentally causes trouble. After he finished speaking, she saw loneliness in Shenzing's eyes. "That's right. I was impulsive this time." He was just worried that Wen Jiu would never come back after he left, just like those friends who left him in the past. Although a great demon like him has a very long lifespan, there will be a day when he will turn into dust. Now there are not many good friends left around him. "I told you I will definitely come back," Wen Jiu said as she took out 2 communicators and a box full of replacement energy stones. "Here, this is something you can use to contact me. You can use this to find me if you have any questions. Besides, I have to cure your illness, so I will definitely come back." As she spoke, she taught Shenzing how to use it so that he could send messages using the communicator. By the way, although the communicator she gave to the monsters could not input monster text, it could send voice messages. Therefore, even if those monsters did not understand the federal language, she could still receive messages and reply. After Shenzing figured out the communicator, she took Chu Jian away from Meng Healing. Shenzing originally wanted to send them off, but considering the situation on the White Tiger side, he eventually changed the escort to a farewell. Old Shen is still very loyal. Not only did he give me the pendant, but he also gave me a treasure. Wen Jiu controlled the long sword to fly while looking at the jade hairpin in his hand. As soon as she saw the jade hairpin, she knew she had found a treasure, because such a flawless and spiritual jade hairpin must be made of top grade or even top grade spiritual jade. TSK TSK TSK. Shenzing is indeed an old monster who has lived for thousands of years. He can easily pull out such a treasure. It seems that she still needs to find her chance to return to the desolate star in the future. Maybe she can get a few more treasures from the old monsters. But compared to this carefully carved and very precious jade hairpin, she actually likes the pendant that looks ordinary. Of course, it doesn't mean that the pendant is really ordinary, but compared with a jade hairpin made of spiritual jade, it is really inferior. "Brother Harry, can you tell what kind of gem is used in this pendant?" Wen Jiu said as he handed the pendant over, and Chu Jian took it quickly. In fact, he didn't study gems much, he could only identify a few common ones. However, he still looked at it carefully. The gemstone inlaid on it is very pure and has no impurities. From the texture point of view, it should be a very precious one. But it depends on the type of gemstone. After all, the rarer the gemstone, the more expensive it is. For example, the jadeite that is exclusively supplied to the federal headquarters is the rarest and most expensive gemstone known to date. If you really want to know what kind of gemstone this is, you can go to the East Lake Scenic Area Commercial Street after you go back and find that Liu Sanji. Don't think that she only runs a small shop selling gemstone jewelry. In fact, she has a deep research in this area of gemstones. Many people will go to her shop to buy gemstones. Hearing this, Wen Jiu's mind instantly emerged with the smiling face of Liu Sanji. She hadn't been to the East Lake Scenic Area Commercial Street for a long time, and she didn't know if this aunt still remembered her. When she was choosing a gift for Uruman before, she bought it in Liu Sanji's gemstone shop. Although Liu Sanji mainly sells gemstone bracelets, and pendants are made of gemstones, it should be no problem to ask her. "Zio Jiu, you don't even know what kind of gem this is, but you're taking it. Don't you feel like you're losing out? What if it's just a worthless gem?" Chu Jian looked around, but couldn't see anything special about the pendant. So he really didn't understand why Wen Jiu didn't take other big treasures, but had to take this relatively ordinary pendant. After he finished speaking, the other party was silent for a moment before replying. "To be honest, I don't know why, but the first time I saw this pendant, an idea popped up in my mind, telling me that I must take this pendant. Point buff. He suddenly remembered the funny videos on Zingbo. Could it be that you triggered some plot from your past life? When he thought of the people in those videos who were still visiting the museum in the last second and suddenly changed their appearance in the next second, he couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Hearing this, Wen Jiu couldn't help but snorted. I told you to look at those weird things less. Why didn't you listen? Today's third update has also been successfully delivered. Thank you again for the support of the little angels. 030. Chapter 1086. Preparing to embark on the journey home 1. Ahem. Since you have decided to venture into the human world, I will first tell you about the rules of the human world, so that you will not know anything and get into trouble. I, the boss, will not clean up your mess. Baba was squatting on a high platform made of snow bricks, explaining various things in the human world to the snow fox spirits who decided to go to the human world. In order to perfectly complete the task assigned by Wen Jiu, she first went to the mushroom forest with Hukiki and persuaded the dog demon tribe and the raccoon tribe to sign a contract. Then she and Hukiki decided the winner through the perfect way of rock paper scissors. As the winner, she got the task of returning to the Snow Fox tribe and teaching the Snow Fox spirits. As the loser, Hukiki stayed in the mushroom forest and was responsible for teaching the dog demons and raccoon forces who were going to the human world. First of all, you need to know that the human world has changed a lot. You must abandon your previous ideas and coexist peacefully with those humans. Don't dream of using the old ways. Today's humans no longer believe in God. She didn't understand the situation in the human world before, so she made a fool of herself. Therefore, she had to repeatedly warn these snow fox spirits to abandon their old ideas of worship, so as to avoid being embarrassed and funny like her. After she finished speaking, the snow fox spirits squatting under the platform all widened their eyes. Humans now don't believe in God anymore? Then how can we survive? Yeah. Our ancestors relied on humans for offerings. Sister Baba, will humans still treat us as monsters? Do we not have to hide our identities? They don't believe in gods or ghosts anyway. Upon hearing this, Fox Baba quickly cleared his throat and explained, well, we still have to hide our identities, because our identities are very special, and it is easy to cause trouble for the boss, so we are forbidden to change them at will on weekdays. Also, since you have all decided to go out and venture into the world, why are you still thinking about offering those melons and 2 dates? Wouldn't it be better to earn star coins by yourself? Don't always think about relying on humans for a living. You know the things my boss gave you, right? As long as you work hard, you can get star coins, which is the universal currency of the human world. When the time comes, whatever you want to buy, just use star coins to buy it. Why do you have to rely on humans for offerings? So don't worry about it anymore. Let me tell you about work. As soon as she finished speaking, 2 familiar figures appeared not far away. One tall, one short, one male, one female. She didn't need to look any further to know that it was Wen Jiu and Chu Jian who had returned. So she quickly jumped down the platform and ran towards the path not far away. Bebe is teaching those snow fox spirits new knowledge now. Why don't you go back with me to rest for a while? I'll take you to see her when she's done. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled at Usan. It's okay. I just happened to go and see what Bebe is teaching. If there's anything I know, I can help with some popular science. She and Chu Jian had just arrived at the territory of the Snow Fox tribe when they met Usan, who had returned from fishing in the glacier. Usan warmly invited her to be his guest, but she wanted to find Bebe first. It wasn't because she was worried about Usan, but because she felt that she had been away for so long, and she still had to take care of the 2 little foxes. But she didn't expect that Hukiki stayed in the mushroom forest, and now there was only Bebe in the Snow Fox tribe. Boss, you're finally back. I missed you so much. Baba was still in her fox form at this moment, and she suddenly threw herself into Wen Jiu's arms. Fortunately, she won the game of rock paper scissors, otherwise it would be Hukiki who was hugged now. She felt her teeth ache just thinking about it. Have you finished your popular science education? Wen Jiu took the opportunity to touch Baba's soft fur twice. If you are done, come with us to visit Usan's house. As soon as she finished her words, Hubbaba nodded and replied, okay. Anyway, we can continue tomorrow. I'll go and ask them to go home. When she heard this, she knew that the other party had not finished his work. But she planned to leave the Snow Fox clan the day after tomorrow, so Hubbaba still had time to do popular science tomorrow. And there would be a lot of free time on the way back to planet 3047, and she could educate the little monsters with Hubbaba at that time. So she let Hubbaba do what he wanted, and didn't let him continue to be busy. However, she still followed Hubbaba to the high platform, and met the Snow Fox spirits who decided to go to the human world. After all, these Snow Fox spirits will be her employees in the future, and she should go over to say hello. Tomorrow, I will teach you here with Baba. It's getting late today, so let's go home and rest. After Wen Jiu finished speaking, the Snow Fox spirits dispersed. Although they wanted to stay and communicate with Wen Jiu more, they also knew that it was not a good time. Anyway, Wen Jiu said that he would come tomorrow, so even if the Snow Fox spirits were curious, they went back to their homes to rest. Afterwards, Wen Jiu hugged Hubbaba, who took the opportunity to act coquettishly, and went to Husan's hut with Chujian. Although Husan's snow hut is not big, it has everything it should have. Come on, this is the osmanthus cake I exchanged from the Jade Rabbit clan 2 days ago. It's delicious. Husan started to hand Wen Jiu all kinds of food as soon as he entered the house, and his originally sickly pale face turned red at this time. Anyone can see that he is a little too attentive. So Wen Jiu took the osmanthus cake first, and then asked with a smile, Husan, we two are friends, so if you have anything to say, just say it directly. There is no need to be like this. Okay, then I won't beat around the bush. Husan's cheeks were stained with a blush, which diluted his originally gentle temperament. It's just, I also want to go to the human world to broaden my horizons. Before Wen Jiu had time to answer, he heard the fox in his arm shouting, Husan, what do you mean? Are you here to compete for favor? I tell you, this family can only have 1 or 2 foxes. Now that we have me and Ukiki, there is no room for other foxes to join. Although she really wanted to say that Wen Jiu's family could only have 1 fox, considering that she and Ukiki were now on a united front, to exclude all the newly joined monsters, she still held back her true thoughts. I don't mean to join you. Fox 3 naturally has his own ideas. I just feel that I have been here for hundreds of years, but I have never been to the outside world to see it, which is a bit of a pity. This is a rare opportunity to go out and broaden my horizons, and a smart fox like me certainly can't let it go. The first update of today has been successfully delivered. Thank you little angels for your support and love. 030. Chapter 1087. Preparing to embark on the journey home to. Hubbaba originally wanted to scold Husan, but she thought that Wen Jiu hadn't spoken yet, and he liked well-behaved animals, so she tried her best to restrain herself, and just curled up again. Anyway, no one and no monster could influence Wen Jiu's thoughts. If he wanted to take Husan away with him, she couldn't change his mind, even if she made a big fuss. So she might as well be content and keep her position. Why do you want to go to the human world? After thinking for a while, Wen Jiu decided to have a good chat with Husan. If I remember correctly, you seemed to disagree with Husan's idea before, and thought that the Snow Fox spirit should stay in the Snow Fox clan. Although she didn't talk to Husan about the human world, she had heard a lot from the gossipy Hubbaba before. After he finished speaking, Husan sighed. The past is the past, and the present is a present. I always felt that as an elder, I should do things for the Snow Fox clan wholeheartedly, and not always think about my own interests. But after I spent some time with you, I changed my mind. He has always been very conscientious in the Snow Fox clan, and he would help with matters big or small. He always felt that as an elder, he should be wholehearted for the Snow Fox clan, and should not be like Husan who always wanted to venture out. It was not until he and Wen Jiu went to the Jade Rabbit clan, and learned a lot about the human world, that his thoughts changed unconsciously. It's not that he wants to be wholehearted for himself now, but he feels that, if he wants to protect the Snow Fox clan, he must first become stronger as an elder. Otherwise, if the Snow Fox clan encounters a crisis one day, He will not be able to do anything else except organizing the foxes in the clan to hide and retreat. In fact, the combat effectiveness of their Snow Fox clan is still above average. After all, Hu Yi is a registered disciple of the Nine-Tailed Fox Lord, and one fox can fight 10 monsters. But after he learned about the weapons of humans, he thought that Hu Yi alone was not enough, and he had to become stronger. So he went to Hu Yi to talk many times these days, and finally got the other party's permission to let him follow the Snow Fox spirits to the human world. It just so happened that the elders in the tribe were not very worried about the Snow Fox spirits leaving, because the Snow Fox spirits who decided to go to the human world were not very powerful, so he could take this opportunity to act as a guardian fox and follow. So that's how it is. When Jiu listened to Husan's explanation, since the fox chief has spoken, I have no reason to refuse. You should get ready these few days and leave with us the day after tomorrow. She had just finished speaking when Hu Baba and Husan asked in surprise, leaving the day after tomorrow? Isn't it too hasty? How about the day after tomorrow? I'll give you plenty of time to prepare. She saw that the two foxes reacted strongly, so she changed the departure time to the day after tomorrow. You only need to bring the necessary things, and I will buy you daily necessities when the time comes, and I will arrange accommodation and other things. Hearing this, Hu Baba couldn't help but ask a few questions out of curiosity. Boss, I counted it before. There are a total of 27 Snow Fox spirits going to the human world this time. If Husan is going too, that will be 28. In addition to our Snow Fox tribe, there are also the Dog Demon tribe and the Raccoon tribe, a total of nearly 100. I almost forgot, there is also the Jade Rabbit tribe. I don't know how many rabbit spirits they will send. With so many demon tribes, can our family accommodate them? She actually had selfish motives when she said this, because she didn't want other monsters to squeeze into her already small room. She almost forgot that she and Hukiki didn't have a room yet. They had always slept in the living room before, so she couldn't let other monsters move in. Otherwise there would be no room for her and Hukiki in this house. How can they all live in our house? I don't run a zoo. When Jiu pinched her brows speechlessly, she had long guessed what Hu Baba was thinking, and she knew that he had the same idea as Hukiki. Therefore, she naturally knew that Hu Baba was trying to test her by saying this. Putting aside other things, she would definitely not take all the monsters to live in her house. She was recruiting employees, not running a zoo. It would be a shame to have so many monsters squeezed into her house. I have already discussed this with Granny Zao, she said decisively. We will all live in the stray animal shelter. There just happens to be an empty staff dormitory there. Everyone should keep their human form. I will arrange a special car to pick you up from get off work, so you don't have to worry about accommodation and work. As for the identities of these monsters, she planned to keep it a secret. Anyway, the monsters can switch between humans and animals at will. When they have nothing to do, they will transform into humans and go to work as they should. If they are unlucky enough to be checked for their identities, they will transform back into their original form and pretend to be stray animals. Isn't it normal for there to be stray animals in the shelter? As long as the monsters don't mess around in front of the staff of the shelter, she can ensure that the relevant departments will not find out about the abnormality. But I have to tell you in advance, she thought for a moment and continued, my store is not only in one city, nor on one planet. So you are just waiting to work by my side. When I open branches in other cities or other planets in the future, I will definitely distribute them according to your performance. She is going to take nearly 100 monsters with her this time, and one store alone will definitely not be able to accommodate them. So she will open a few branches in the East Lake District first, and then open new branches in other areas. In short, TOIAO stores will definitely be opened all over the galaxy. Hu Baba didn't have anything to say about this, because she knew that she had taken advantage of arriving first, and when Jiu would definitely not easily distribute her, so she just nodded to show that she understood. Fox-san, who was roasting oranges, hesitated for a moment and said, does that mean we have to go to other places to venture out on our own in the future? But if that's the case, will it be possible for us to? Don't worry, I will definitely not abandon the demons who have just arrived in the human world to develop on their own. Wen Jiu knew what Foxson was thinking when he saw his expression. Your group of demons can be called the Vanguard group. I will teach you all kinds of knowledge at that time. When you can be independent or live a normal life, I will assign you to other places. In short, I will not let you venture out on your own before you adapt to the human world. When new demons come to work and study in the future, you seniors must do a good job in popular science education to ensure that they can adapt to life in the human world and then assign them like you. Foxson understood after she explained this, and the worry on his face instantly disappeared, and he handed her a roasted orange. Today's second update was also delivered smoothly. Thank you again for the support of the little angels. 030. Chapter 1088. Set off. Go home. 1. Wen Jiu stayed in the Snow Fox tribe for 3 days, and it was finally time to set off. In the past few days, she not only helped Hubaba teach the Snow Fox spirits, but also talked a lot about the human world with Huyi and other elders. Although there were some twists and turns, the result was good after all. Because the frozen snow land was far away from the mushroom forest, she planned to let the Elk brothers' cart stay on the Snow Fox spirits to travel. However, they had to reach the edge of the frozen snowland to meet the Elk brothers first, so they gathered at the entrance of the territory at dawn and prepared to set off. Seeing the Snow Fox spirits who were leaving and saying goodbye to their families, she was inevitably moved. So she just stood aside with Chujian and waited, and did not rush to urge the Snow Fox spirits. However, at this moment, Huyi came over. Miss Wen, I still hope that you can take care of these Snow Fox spirits who have never set foot in the human world for the sake of Hukiki and Hubaba. Although she didn't show it on her face, she was still worried. After all, this time they were going to other planets. If these Snow Fox spirits were wronged outside, they would not even know how to go home to seek comfort. To put it bluntly, these Snow Fox spirits had handed their lives to Wen Jiu. They did not know how to go home, nor did they have a legal identity. Everything was in Wen Jiu's control. Therefore, it was quite difficult to make her completely relieved. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled and replied, don't worry, even if there were no Hukiki and Hubaba, I would not treat these Snow Fox spirits badly. And I gave them and their families communicators, so if there is any situation, they can use the communicator to contact. Besides, didn't we agree? When the navigation route here is opened, these Snow Fox spirits and other demon tribes can come back to visit their relatives every once in a while. So you don't have to think too much, Fox Chief. I will definitely take good care of them. She tried her best to take all kinds of situations into consideration. As long as these Snow Fox spirits did not deliberately cause trouble, they would definitely live comfortably in the human world. With Wen Jiu's words, Huyi was slightly relieved. As the leader of the Snow Fox tribe, she naturally had to worry more. While the departing Snow Fox spirit was still saying goodbye, she approached Wen Jiu and whispered, remember to count the number before you leave. I'm worried that Huziosi is too obsessed and will transform into other demons and blend in. It was only this morning that she discovered that Huziosi, who was supposed to see her off, was missing. Thinking of the obsession in his heart, she could guess roughly. You know, the Snow Fox tribe is much better than other demons in changing their shapes. They can not only transform into humans, but also into all things in the world. At first, she thought that Huziosi would blend into the Snow Fox tribe's traveling team, but she looked around and didn't find his figure or anything else unusual. After all, Huziosi is a smart fox. She knows that Wen Jiu has been getting along with the departing Snow Fox spirits these days, and has more or less understood their situation. If he blends in, he will be easily exposed. Moreover, she can see through the transformations of other fox spirits, and Huziosi will definitely not do anything in front of her. So she guessed that the other party would most likely blend into other demon tribes. Okay, if I find him, I'll send someone to send him back to the Snow Fox tribe. Wen Jiu was not surprised by this. She knew that Huziosi would definitely try to go to the human world because he was too obsessed with the past. Things that can't be let go will be solved sooner or later. Huziosi's obsession can almost form a demon in his heart, so he will definitely not miss this opportunity. Seeing this, Huyi opened her mouth but in the end said nothing. She could understand why Huzaosi did this, but she really didn't want him to get deeply involved. But she was very angry just listening to those things, not to mention Huzaosi who witnessed the murder of his compatriots. So no matter what she thought, she had no reason to stop him. Well, let everything take its course. Okay, have you finished what you need to say? Humbaba waited for a long time and was really impatient. Why don't you stay in the Snow Fox tribe and don't leave? She never felt a sense of belonging to the Snow Fox tribe, so she didn't understand these Snow Fox spirits. But with her urging, the Snow Fox spirits didn't delay. Those who need to wipe their tears, and those who need to carry their bags. Although Wen Jiu said that he would arrange everything and distribute daily necessities, they still brought some things more or less. When the Snow Fox spirits were ready, Wen Jiu summoned the long sword and stood on it with Chujian. As a faint golden light lit up, the long sword flew forward against the wind. The Snow Fox spirits who had to leave home to work ran with Humbaba. Fortunately, the territory of the Snow Fox tribe was not far from the edge of the frozen snow land, and they successfully met up with the Elk brothers near noon. The cart pulled by the Elk brothers was originally 4 people, so it was enough to fit more than 20 little foxes. So when Jiu took Chujian to fly in the sky, and the Elk brothers carried the little foxes below. They traveled during the day and rested at night, and it took them more than 10 days to reach the mushroom forest. Because Humbaba had agreed with Hukiki before, they went straight to the territory of the Dog Demon tribe. Because it was inconvenient for the Elk brothers to enter the territory of the Dog Demon tribe, they just parked the car at the edge of the territory. Just take a few steps forward, and you can enter the territory of the Dog Demon tribe, and meet up with Hukiki and other demons. Thank you for your hard work, this is a little gift from me, please accept it. The first thing Wen Jiu did after landing was not to enter the territory, but to thank the Elk brothers who pulled the cart without complaint. She took out a bag of spirit stones and gave them to the Elk brothers as a reward for their hard work. Although this bag of spirit stones was only of medium quality and not as good as the one given to her by Huyi, it was still very sincere for ordinary demons like the Elk brothers. Seeing this, Luda first bowed, then stepped forward to take it. Thank you, Miss Wen. I wish you a smooth journey back and hope we can see you again in the future. After he finished speaking, he tied the bag around his neck, then transformed into his original form and left with Luzao pulling the cart. As soon as the figures of the Elk brothers disappeared, Humbaba couldn't wait to speak. Okay, boss. Let's go find Hukiki quickly. Don't let him wait anxiously in the Dog Demon tribe, otherwise he will cry for you to see. Hearing this, Wen Jiu nodded in response, then put away the long sword that was still hanging in the air and took the lead with Chujian to walk in front. When she thought about going home to develop her career soon, her body and mind became relaxed and happy. Source: today's third update is also delivered. Please check it out. Little Angels 030. Chapter 1089. Set off. Go home. 2. When Jiu successfully met Hukiki, who had been waiting for a long time, and also met with Wang Fifi, the chief of the Dog Demon tribe. By the way, the Dog Demon tribe and the Lynx tribe had reached a reconciliation before, so Li Kaojin, the chief of the Lynx tribe, was also in the Dog Demon tribe. It can be seen that Hukiki did a good job this time, because neither Wang Fifi nor Li Kaojin of the Lynx tribe raised any objections to her taking the Demon tribe away. However, the 2 chiefs were a little worried, so they pestered her to ask many things about the human world. Seeing that Wang Fifi and Li Kaojin were both devoted to their tribesmen, she patiently answered the 2 chiefs in detail. At the same time, she also asked Chujian and Hukiki to educate the dog demons and lynx who were going to the human world. 2 days passed in this busy time. On the morning of the 3rd day, a group of white rabbits flew into the territory of the Dog Demon tribe. With them came more than a dozen bluebirds. When Jiu wanted to say hello to the leader of the team, to Bang Bang, but she was a little confused when she saw the bluebirds. If she remembered correctly, she didn't seem to have said before that she would take the bluebirds to the human world. Maybe the confusion in her eyes was too obvious. A bluebird that was perched on a tree branch suddenly flew down, and in an instant it turned into a beautiful woman like a lotus. Hello, Lord Wen. I'm King Yi, the sister of the leader of the Blue Bad tribe. King Yi also knew that they were a little abrupt, so she quickly bowed to Wen Jiu and explained to him in detail. Wen Jiu did not say that he would take the blue birds away, but King Meng felt that it was time to let the birds of the tribe go out and try their luck. Otherwise, if they were used to staying in a comfortable environment, not to mention that they had little experience, even their spirits would be relaxed. Therefore, King Meng made a rash decision and asked King Yi to take the selected bluebirds and the Jade Rabbit tribe next door to meet Wen Jiu. If Wen Jiu was willing to take them away, then they would follow him to the human world. But if the other party is unwilling, then they can't force it. Just pretend that this incident never happened. I hope you can forgive our abruptness. King Yi quickly took out a bag of top quality lapis lazuli. This is the gift that the clan leader asked me to give you, and it is also the most precious thing of our Bluebird clan. Lapis lazuli veins are extremely rare. Among the known demon clans, only their Bluebird clan has one. And top quality lapis lazuli is even rarer, and one piece can be worth 10 top quality spirit stones. King Yi now took a whole bag at a time, which shows the Bluebird clan's full respect, and also represents King Meng's sincerity to Wen Jiu. Well, since you have such great sincerity, then I will reluctantly open a back door. Wen Jiu said as he took the bag of top quality lapis lazuli, but I still have to say that this kind of thing can't happen again. The main reason is that she had already discussed cooperation with the Bluebird clan, and it would not affect taking this batch of bluebirds to the human world. It just so happened that she was still short of employees to deliver food, so King Meng's action of acting first and asking for permission later could barely be regarded as sending a pillow when she was sleepy, so she was too lazy to argue with him. But she still had to remind him of what she should remind him of, otherwise without rules, chaos would come sooner or later. So she first admonished King Yi a few words, and then made some general requirements. In short, she would not take all the monsters to the human world, she would choose the monsters to take away according to her needs. These monsters must receive training after they go, otherwise they will be packed up and sent back to the desolate planet. As for other rules, she still needs to think about it and slowly refine them. I just counted. There are a total of 151 monsters going this time. When Jiu saw that the Bluebird and Jade Rabbit tribes were not tired, so he thought that it would be better to do it today. So he set off to the space station today, because the spaceship I drive can only carry 80 animals at most, so I will transport you out in 2 batches later. After he finished speaking, the monsters gathered together, nodded one after another. Okay, then everyone, get ready, we are leaving this planet. After Wen Jiu finished speaking, she arranged for Chu Jian to drive the spaceship. She also asked Hu Kiki and Hu Baba to count the number of demons again. However, she did not say that Hu Zioc might be mixed in, and just pretended to know nothing, and clicked on the light screen panel. Although she had communicated with Yao Fengyan a few days ago, she still had to inform him before she left. Fengyan will escort you. Okay, miss, we are ready and can meet you at the space station at any time. Fengyan will escort you. By the way, miss, the strange spaceship that went out before arrived at the space station yesterday. Their people haven't left yet. Should we avoid these people? Yao Fengyan really did his best to get paid for his work. Even though Wen Jiu didn't ask about this again, he still worked seriously. Jiu is rich. No, there is no need to avoid. You can move around as you want. Wen Jiu was very satisfied with Yao Fengyan's diligence, so she decisively opened the chat box of Ziziu and told the other party to remember to add some money when paying the balance. After finishing all this, she patiently waited for Chu Jian to drive the spaceship over. It happened that the territory of the dog demon tribe was on an open grassland, so Chu Jian could drive the spaceship over to pick them up. However, just as she was casually browsing the star blog, she suddenly noticed a gaze of scrutiny. So she continued to maintain her superficial calm, silently turned on the anti-peep transparency of the light curtain panel, and clicked on the photo function. After the camera rotated a circle, she finally found the person. Oh no, it should be said that the demon Among a group of dog demons saying goodbye to their relatives, there was a dog demon whose expression was particularly calm. Not only did he not have tears in his eyes, like other dog demons, he was even a little impatient to say a few more words to his relatives. He just stood aside calmly and indifferently, watching the relatives in front of him wipe their tears. As far as Wen Jiu knew, the dog demon tribe attached great importance to family affection. So the dog demon in front of her was most likely disguised by Hu's IOC. However, she did not rush to expose it, but just pretended to be unaware, and clicked the light screen panel. After another cup of tea, Chujayan finally arrived. The other party first parked the mini spaceship on the flat grass, and then asked Kiki and Hu Baba to organize the demon tribe to board the ship. Seeing this, she turned off the light screen panel, and began to arrange for the demon tribe to board the ship. After the ship's carrying capacity reached the maximum, Chujayan took these demon tribes to the space station, to meet Yeo Feng'an and others. And she stayed here, waiting for the second delivery. Because Chujayan must drive the spaceship back to pick them up, the demon tribe that arrived at the space station first will be managed by Kiki and Hu Baba Biu. Today's first update has been delivered. Thank you for the support of the little angels. 030. Whisper, the lapis lazuli here is not the lapis lazuli in reality. Everyone doesn't need to care too much. Chapter 1090, set off. Go home. 3. Why did Miss Wen get so many wild animals? Ikwahaning looked at the spaceship full of animals and felt a little helpless. There were rabbits, birds, and puppies in the spaceship. Although he liked animals and adopted a few stray dogs, it was the first time for him to see so many wild animals. After that, Yeo Feng'an calmly replied, "Don't worry too much about the employer's affairs. Didn't your boss teach you?" He thought Kwahaning was hired to escort like him. Point, that's right. The other party looked a little embarrassed, but he didn't refute him after all. Then let's send these animals to the quarantine area of the space station first. According to federal law, all captured wild animals must be quarantined and registered. Hearing this, he nodded and replied, "I know this. I have already given the order. My people will take these animals to the quarantine area later." The main reason was that Wen Jiu had mentioned this to him before, so he had already made preparations for the response. Things like sending wild animals for quarantine registration. He had instructed his men when Chujayan first arrived. However, the number of these wild animals exceeded his expectations, so his men could only send them to the quarantine area in several batches. That's good. Brother Yeo is still thoughtful. Ikwahaning smiled and agreed with a few words, then found a seat in the rest area. This private rest area was rented when they first arrived, so there was no need to worry about disturbing other guests who were also in the space station for supplies and rest when receiving wild animals. He first clicked on the light screen panel to send a message to Uruman. This was the other party's request. He and Hang Jinga had to report the situation every day. Then he looked around. He wanted to ask Hang Jinga if she had reported, but he didn't find her. Seeing this, he couldn't help but feel a little confused. He remembered that Hang Jinga was counting wild animals just now. How could she disappear in a blink of an eye? Just as he was thinking about whether to send a message to the other party, he suddenly heard a rapid and loud knock on the door. The door to the rest area had a doorbell, so the knock on the door puzzled him and also caught Yeo Feng'an's attention. "You guys go ahead and do your work. I'll go over and take a look." The other person's reaction was faster than his. He walked to the door in 2 or 3 steps and clicked on the electronic panel to check. In addition to Hang Jinga, there were several uniformed staff members outside the door. Seeing this, Yeo Feng'an put his hands behind his back and gestured a few times, and then pretended to be calm and pressed the door opening button. "Hello, sir. I'm Zioan, a staff member of Yuming Space Station. Because a guest reported that you were suspected of smuggling animals, I came here to conduct an inspection in accordance with regulations. I also hope that you can cooperate with the work." He glanced at the name tags of these staff members and the workers shown by the leader, then smiled and made a gesture of invitation. It happened that Chujayan and Wen Jiu arrived at the landing area of the space station at this moment, so after they checked the pass and verified their identities and returned to the rest area, they saw several staff members checking the monsters. "Miss Wen, Maybe we have too many wild animals, so. Yeo Feng'an came over as soon as he saw Wen Jiu appear and briefly explained the whole story. Hearing this, Wen Jiu just nodded very calmly and then stood aside waiting for the staff to finish the inspection. 10 minutes later, Zion, the captain of the inspection team, came over. After confirming that Wen Jiu was the carrier, he questioned her seriously. Hello. According to federal law, under normal circumstances, citizens are prohibited from catching and carrying too many wild animals. So in a case like yours, we have to confiscate all the wild animals and conduct a detailed investigation on you. Seeing that Wen Jiu was not very old, he spoke more tactfully and did not mention the more serious consequences. And he felt that at her age, she should not be very clear about this law. Alas, this is not the first time he has met an ignorant young master or young lady. It is good for someone like Wen Jiu to bring back more than 100 wild animals. He has seen someone fill an entire starship with wild animals before. At that time, he was overwhelmed. He had to arrange quarantine inspections and interrogate the people who brought the animals so that he could arrange for the staff to send the wild animals back to their original planets. Just when he thought Wen Jiu would be obedient and hand over all the wild animals, the other party opened the light screen panel. Seeing this, he frowned with some dissatisfaction. Miss, even if you have connections behind you, it won't work. He has been working at Yuming Space Station for nearly 10 years. It's not like he hasn't seen guests who bully others by taking advantage of their power, and there are also people who want to use their connections to make things convenient for them. However, their Yuming Space Station is remote and has no military district, so no matter what connections those guests have, it won't work. Sorry, I don't have the idea of using connections. When Jiu found her ID card in the Star Network account, I didn't say anything when I saw you were checking carefully just now. In fact, I'm the person in charge of the Stray Animal Shelter Center. This time we were commissioned to go to Z88 Star to pick up stray animals. As she spoke, she showed her ID card and also turned out the registration information of Jiu Shelter Center. Because planet Z88 is an unregistered uninhabited planet, the authorities cannot directly transport animals here, so they have to let us take them in. Look at these animals. Rabbits, dogs, birds, foxes, and mini pigs. They are actually stray animals abandoned by people on planet Z88. She lied calmly, and Zion was stunned. You are the person in charge of the stray animal shelter at such a young age. The other party's eyes were full of disbelief, and you said you were entrusted to take in stray animals. Do you have a certificate or an official order letter? Hearing this, she immediately swiped on the light screen panel and found the certificate she had prepared in advance. Yes, this is an official letter issued by the Oriental City of Planet 3047. Fortunately, she had communicated with Wang Nan before and asked him to go to the relevant department to ask for a certificate. Because the shelter had helped the Animal Management Bureau before and had been taking good care of the stray animals sent by the authorities, Wang Nan got the certificate for outbound shelter very smoothly. Really? Zion looked at the light screen panel in front of him and couldn't help but sigh. Although he still had doubts in his heart, when Jiu showed the proof that everything the other party did was in line with the requirements, so he couldn't ask any more questions. Sorry, I was rude before. He finally apologized obediently. Then I will take the people away first. Miss Wen, please remember to send these animals to the quarantine area according to the regulations. You can only take them away after the inspection and registration. Source: today's second update has also been delivered on time. Please check it out. Little Angels 030. Chapter 1091. Taking the little monsters on the road. 1. Hey. Stop pushing. Let me take a look outside first. Can you guys stop staying here? We've been waiting here for a long time. It's our turn to take a look at the scenery outside. Wow. The cakes baked by Lord Wen smell so good and taste so good. Can we eat cakes more often in the future? The little monsters who boarded the interstellar spaceship for the first time were very excited. They had never heard of an interstellar spaceship, let alone sitting in one for a long voyage. Although they were also very excited when they were stuffed into the mini interstellar spaceship. The mini interstellar spaceship only had the most basic driving space, and they were sitting next to each other like cargo being transported, and there was no chance to see the various novelties in the cabin. So after they were thrown into the spacious main cabin, the excitement in their hearts could no longer be suppressed. "Stop making noise. Keep quiet." Humbaba knocked on the table impatiently. "The boss gave you this opportunity to sit in the main cabin, not to make you bother her." Although she didn't want to sit with so many monsters, she still didn't object to Wen Jiu's arrangement. After all, the other party was her boss, and she wouldn't be stupid enough to go against him. But this didn't mean that she didn't dare to hit these monsters hard. "Be quiet. If you dare to make noise again, I'll throw you to the cargo hold." She pouted in dissatisfaction, because when Jiu said before leaving that he wanted everyone to listen to Hukiki and Humbaba, the monsters all quieted down and just closed their mouths to appreciate the magical scenery outside. Seeing this, she felt a little relieved. Oh, now I don't dislike you at all." Hukiki, who was sitting next to him, muttered softly, "I think you're pretty good." He always felt that Humbaba was annoying before and wanted to pack him up and send him back to the Snow Fox clan overnight. But now, compared with those monsters, he suddenly felt that Humbaba was pretty good. At least he was in the same camp as him, and he could suppress these new monsters. I should say this to you," Humbaba snorted with some disdain. "I don't know what the boss went out to do, but he left these stupid monsters behind, making so much noise that my brain is about to explode." When Jiu stuffed the monsters into the main cabin and left, saying that he was going to go to the auxiliary cabin below with Chujian. She wanted to go with him, but the other party asked her to stay and be the guardian monster of these stupid monsters together with Hukiki. Hearing this, Hukiki couldn't help but sigh. The master must have gone to do something important, otherwise she wouldn't have left so anxiously. Anyway, let's not think too much, just complete the task assigned by the master. He was not so curious about Wen Jiu's personal affairs, but he was also annoyed by these demons who knew nothing. They would make a fuss for a long time when they saw a nebula, and they would also make a fuss for a while when they saw a planet. Even when they saw other interstellar spaceships, they would all squeeze in front of the window to stay. Occasionally, a demon would come to him and ask him what an ordinary thing was, which made him speechless and funny. Although he was like this when he first arrived in the human world, it did not affect his dislike for these demons now. At the same time, when Jiu was talking to Yao Feng'an in the passenger cabin, while Chu Jian was listening quietly at the side. "Brother Yao, you said that the staff were recruited because of a report. How did you come to this conclusion?" Mainly because when Jiu entered the rest area late, so she didn't know what happened before that. She thought that there were too many animals transported, which attracted the attention of the staff, so they conducted an inspection according to regulations. Therefore, she did not ask too many questions at that time, but cooperated with the inspection in a proper manner, and then sent the staff away. But Yao Feng'an later told her that it was actually a guest who made an anonymous report, which attracted the staff to inspect. So after she placed the monsters in the main cabin, she quickly took Chu Jian to the auxiliary cabin for a talk. Because the staff mentioned it when they came to the door. "I still have a recording here. Do you want to listen to it?" Yao Feng'an said, taking out a pea-sized recorder. "I'm worried that the arrival of the staff will cause disputes, so I specially put a recorder when I opened the door." He traveled a lot outside, and he had seen all kinds of strange things. Therefore, no matter what he did, he would be extra careful. Hearing this, Wen Jiu thought for a moment, then nodded and replied, "Then please play the recording. I want to know what happened before I arrived." With her words, Yao Feng'an did not ask any more questions, but played the recording as ordered. "Because I saw that Miss Wen sent too many animals, I specifically instructed my men to send these animals to the quarantine area in batches." The other party opened the recording and slowly explained, "In theory, it is difficult to attract the attention of the staff if it is done this way, but after Miss Hangjinga went out, those people were attracted." Yao Feng'an did not mean to target Hangjinga, he just described the situation at that time according to the order. After he finished speaking, he saw Han Jing'e standing up next to him. Miss Wen, those staff members were not attracted by me. I went out earlier to buy some feed from the store to prevent these small animals from being hungry during the voyage. Because she had been staying in the space station these days, she counted the supplies in the cargo hold several times and knew what was available and what was missing. When she saw that Wen Jiu had sent hundreds of animals, she thought about going to the store to buy some feed so that it would be easier to feed them during the voyage. But she was stopped by the staff as soon as she finished paying at the store. They said that a customer reported us for illegally smuggling wild animals and showed me a certificate from the staff, so I took them to the rest area. She didn't want to take the blame for no reason, so she quickly explained to Wen Jiu, I still have the receipt for the purchase of feed, and the feed in the wisdom ring has always been stored. Miss Wen, if you don't believe it, you can check it now. She didn't know how she was found by the staff, and she almost took the blame for betraying Wen Jiu. Before Wen Jiu finished speaking, Hua Haining said, Jing'e, did you find anything unusual when you were buying things in the store? Let me think about it. She tried to recall the scene at that time. It seemed so. She remembered that when she was buying things in the store, there seemed to be a few people sneaking around her. Today's third update has also been delivered smoothly. Thank you again for the support of the little angels. 030. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1092, Taking the Little Monsters on the Road to. Although Han Jing'e tried her best to recall, she really couldn't remember more details. She only described the scene at that time and the people she felt strange. In short, there was still no key clue. Forget it, let's not talk about this for now. When Jiu saw that Han Jing'e had been talking for a long time and couldn't give any useful information, so he felt that there was no need to talk about it. Everyone should be more careful in the future and be more cautious when going out. After she finished speaking, she took Chu Jian out of the auxiliary cabin. The main reason was that this sudden incident did not bring any impact, so she felt that there was no need to embarrass Han Jing'e here. Moreover, she had never been to the space station before. She drove away in a mini spacecraft before arriving, so there was no situation where someone deliberately targeted her. Besides, she brought so many monsters into the space station. Even if no one reported it for no reason, the staff would ask for an inspection. So instead of wasting time here to embarrass Han Jing'e, it would be better to put this matter aside and talk about it later. However, her choice was not entirely for Han Jing'e, but because she couldn't find any useful clues at the moment. She was afraid that if she continued to talk, it would easily lead to conflicts. After all, the most important thing for people to get along with each other is trust. Although she would soon be separated from Yao Feng'an and others, she still didn't want anything to go wrong during the voyage. Thinking about it, she and Chu Jian walked to the door of the main cabin. Before they opened the cabin door and went in, they heard the sound of foxes. Next, I will teach you the federal language that will be used in the store. Don't be lazy at this time, because I won't teach you a second time, so cheer up and learn it well. Then, it was the voice of Hukiki with a coquettish tone. You must take advantage of this time to learn more federal language, otherwise you won't know how to deal with humans when the time comes. Hearing this, Wen Jiu couldn't help but smile at Chu Jian. Without thinking too much, you can know what the little monsters are doing. TSK, the domineering fox is quite responsible. Chu Jian had already nicknamed the combination of Hukiki and Hubaba. Are you sure we want to go in now? Will it disturb them from learning the federal language? When Jiu did not answer out loud, she only verified at the door and then pressed the hatch door opening button. Of course she had to go back to the main cabin to rest. After being busy for so long, it was time to lie down on the bed and take a nap. As for the monsters, just continue to do what they should do, as long as it does not affect her rest. As the hatch opened, the chattering of the monsters gradually disappeared. They cast their eyes on the hatch and watched when Jiu and Chu Jian walk in. For a moment, there was silence, as if the noise just now did not exist. Seeing this, Wen Jiu pinched his brows helplessly. You should continue to study the federal language. I'm going to go back to the lounge to have a good sleep. Okay, boss. Baba nodded with a smile on his face. Then I'll ask them to keep their voices down so as not to disturb your rest. When it comes to the ability to please Wen Jiu, no demon can compare to her. Even Hukiki, who appeared before her, has to bow down in this regard. So she smiled and watched Wen Jiu enter the lounge, and then changed her face the moment the other party closed the door. Everyone heard it. My boss wants to rest. She patted the table a few times in a fierce manner. So keep your voices down from now on. If you disturb my boss, don't blame me for being rude. After the words fell, all the demons nodded in unison, looking like children who had just entered school. Chujian was not very sleepy yet, so he stayed outside to play games. Looking at Baba's fierce look, he finally understood the origin of the fox borrowing the tiger's power. However, he was not really interested in those monsters, so he continued to click on the light screen panel, trying to find a fun game to kill time. Just when he found the game he was interested in, after flipping over and over for a while, he suddenly received several group messages. King Gaoshai and Xiang Xiang, at SHI study hard, my class is over, why haven't you come back yet? And what did teacher Yang want you for? I saw that he didn't look very good after he came back, as if someone owed him millions. King Gaoshai and Xiang Xiang, at SHI study hard, I heard that the cafeteria made braised pork today. Do you want me to buy you a portion to take away? Seeing this, Chu Jian thought that he was idle anyway, so he wanted to chat with the chatterbox King Gaiu. Jian is really speechless. Zhao Banli, aren't you usually inseparable from Zhao Huahua? Why aren't you together today? As everyone knows, King Gaiu is Kaioshishi's pendant. As long as Kaioshishi can be seen, King Gaiu can be found next to her. King Gaiu every day upward. Heej, you are finally alive. I thought you forgot about this group. King Gaiu had just finished class. He waited and waited at the door of the classroom, but he didn't see Kaioshishi. He thought that the other party was suddenly called away by teacher Yang during class just now, so he was worried that something had happened. So he asked a few questions in the group. Unexpectedly, the person he was waiting for was not Kaioshishi, but Chujian, who had not appeared for a long time. So he chatted with the other party for a while, then turned off the light curtain panel and strode towards the office building. He originally wanted to go to the cafeteria to buy food, but he waited at the door of the classroom for a long time and didn't see Kaioshishi appear, so he was very worried about the other party's situation. The main reason was that he and Kaioshishi had agreed before that except for necessary situations in the college, it would be best for them to act together for other things such as going to and from class, going to the cafeteria, and returning to the dormitory. So under normal circumstances, even if Kaioshishi was called away by the teacher, she should come back to find him after the matter was done. But it has been almost an hour, and the other party has not come back yet, which makes him a little worried. Calm down, nothing serious will happen in the college, he muttered as he walked, as if to comfort himself. Besides, when Shishi left, there was Teacher Li besides Teacher Yang. Teacher Li is Teacher Yu's friend. She will definitely protect Shishi. Yes, that's right. Although he has been trying to calm himself down, his pace is getting faster and faster, and finally he changed from walking to running. Fortunately, the office building is not far from the teaching building where they will have classes today, so he arrived smoothly and found the teaching office soon. Just when King Gaiu was wondering whether he should go there directly or make up an excuse to cover it up, he suddenly heard Kaioshishi's voice with a hint of tears. Source: the first update of today has been successfully delivered. Please check it out. Little Angels. 030. Chapter 1093 Rejecting Moral Blackmail 1. I'll say it one last time. I can't possibly agree to this. It's not my fault that he was born without superpowers. Why should I sacrifice myself to help him? Kaioshishi was taking deep breaths. She was afraid that she would lose control of her emotions and go berserk in front of the teachers. But she was so angry that she wanted to slap Zhang Mian and cut off all ties with her forever. Please don't come to me again. What I eat, use, and wear now are all earned by myself. I didn't spend a single star coin from your Kao family. As for the star coins I spent before, I will pay them all back before I become an adult. She really didn't know how she could have such a bad family. She would rather be an orphan without anyone to rely on than be born in such a family. After saying this, Zhang Mian, who was wearing famous brands and luxurious jewelry, pretended to be wronged and said, "Shishi, you are my own flesh and blood. How can I care about star coins with you? Besides, our Kao family has no shortage of star coins to support you, so don't joke in front of the teacher." When she heard this, she couldn't help but sneer. Zhang Mian can really act out any drama for the sake of face. The other party had urged her to return the star coins that supported her before. Otherwise, she would be betrothed to a big family in exchange for Kao Mingming's bright future. Fortunately, she made a friend like Wen Jiu who is very good at making money, otherwise she really didn't know how to deal with such a thing. But she never asked Wen Jiu for star coins. She has been using her salary from working in the store to deal with Zhang Mian's various difficulties. Alas, I remember you used to be very good and obedient. How come you suddenly became rebellious? Kao Wan's Han, who had been silent all along, suddenly pretended to be extremely distressed. Did you make some bad friends in the college, and they led you astray, causing you to become like this? Hearing this, Lee Kinson couldn't help but frown. Mr. Kao, Shishi's performance in the college is very good, and she has never done anything bad. And with her grades this semester, it is not a problem for her to get a scholarship. I don't understand how such a well-behaved girl can become rebellious in your mouth. She regretted it now, very much. What was wrong with her brain that made her agree to meet this weird pair of parents? If she had known earlier, she should have claimed to be sick and asked the security guard to send the parents away. The ancient said, when parents call, you should respond without delay. When parents order, you should act without laziness. You see, the ancients said that we should be filial to our parents and obey them, but Shishi has disobeyed us again and again. If this is not rebellion, what is rebellion? Kao Wan's Han was a little arrogant when he said this. I can understand that, Teacher Lee. You don't know much about this aspect. After all, the cultural courses of 3047 College have never been very good. When she heard this, she clenched her fists silently. She had long been unable to stand this weird couple of parents, and she wanted to call the security guards to drive them away immediately. But she just found an opportunity to ask Kao Shishi and learned that the other party's parents had been blocking them outside the school several times. So she felt that this problem must be solved, otherwise good students would be ruined by their parents, which is why she has not driven them away until now. Mr. Kao, first of all, our 3047 Academy is the only public military academy on planet 3047. Whether in terms of training or cultural courses, it is no worse than those private military academies. She tried her best to suppress her anger. Secondly, I don't think children have to listen to their parents, especially when their parents make some wrong decisions. They have the right to resist. Kao Shishi felt warm in her heart after hearing these words, and her anger subsided a little. She thought Lee Kinson would help her parents, but she didn't expect that the other party would stand on her side. Not only was she surprised by this, but Zhang Mian and Kao Wan's Han were also surprised. Especially Zhang Mian, who regarded herself as a superior person. She stroked her chest with her hand wearing a big gem ring. Teacher Lee, we paid so much tuition to the college, not to listen to your nonsense here. However, before she finished speaking, Lee Kinson interrupted with a sneer. As far as I know, Shishi paid her tuition by herself, and it seems to have nothing to do with you two, right? She is a yellow-haired girl who has not yet reached adulthood, so the star coins for her tuition are naturally paid by us, she said, and deliberately lifted her hair, revealing the newly bought huge pearl earrings. Seeing this, Kao Shishi really couldn't help but sneered. My tuition is all earned by my hard work, and it has nothing to do with your wealthy Kao family. You don't need to act like this to save face, right? She has been with Wen Jiu for a long time, and her words are more poisonous than before. Kao Shishi, did you play outside and forget your name? Kao Wan's hand suddenly slammed the table heavily. How many star coins can you earn by yourself? Even if the tuition of this public college is low, you are a little girl who is not yet an adult and does not even have the qualifications to work outside. How can you earn enough star coins to pay the tuition? He sighed when he said this. Well, it's just that you stole your mother's necklace. You are the most beloved child of your parents. How can we care about such a thing with you? After the words fell, several students who had made mistakes and wrote self-reviews in the office before couldn't help but cast curious eyes at Kaioshishi. They didn't really doubt Kaioshishi, but simply wanted to secretly eat melons. Mr. Kaio, please don't talk nonsense without evidence. Lee Kinson really regretted keeping the parents. When she first received the message from the security guard, she thought that something had happened to Kaioshishi and the other party's parents came to the college because they were worried. Because Kaioshishi's parents were very anxious, she asked the security guard to let the person in. At first, the parents' chat with her was quite normal until teacher Yang brought Kaioshishi, who was still in class, and their true colors were immediately exposed. Although she knew that the progress of the times and technology did not mean that everyone's thinking would also progress, but it was the first time she saw such feudal parents, so feudal that she was speechless. Because she was also an important member of the Burning Flame organization, she knew what happened to Kaioshishi before, and she also knew that the other party had received compensation from the Federation. Her mood was still very complicated about this. Even though Kaioshishi received enviable compensation, it was also obtained by the other party at the risk of his life. Kaioshishi's parents not only did not feel sorry for Kaioshishi, but they were actually thinking about giving this compensation to their son. Although she had seen those who favored boys over girls, she had never seen such a disgusting one. BIU today's second update was also successfully delivered. Thank you little angels for your support and love. 030. Chapter 1094, Rejecting Moral Blackmail 2. Zhang Mian has always been very concerned about her reputation and always obeyed Kaio Wontan, so when she heard what Lee Kinson said, she immediately pretended to be aggrieved. Teacher Lee, Shishi is our biological daughter. If her father hadn't been so angry, how could he have told such a family matter? She wiped away the tears that didn't exist while speaking. Now that things have come to this, let me tell the truth. At the beginning, Shishi insisted on coming to 3047 college to study. Her father and I couldn't bear to let her suffer so much, so we rejected her. But Shishi is a stubborn girl. She took a necklace out when I wasn't paying attention, and she also signed up behind my and her father's back. At first, I was shocked and angry, and I even thought about coming to the college to find her. But I think she can do this for her dream, and she is my baby born after 10 months of pregnancy. After thinking about it, I finally couldn't bear to blame her. She said it vividly, as if this was the truth. Those students who were still in the office writing self-criticisms couldn't help but look at Kaioshishi with complicated eyes. Seeing this, Zikingayu couldn't stand it anymore and walked in without even saying hello. Shishi's tuition is clearly earned by herself. How can you, an old witch, say such nonsense? Don't think I don't know how you bully Shishi. Can you stop being busy flattering yourself all day long? Ahem Kingayu. Lee Kinson didn't expect Zikingayu to appear at this time. Didn't I tell you to come back later? I haven't had time to look at your homework yet. The current situation is already giving her a headache. If Zikingayu gets involved, she really wants to dig a hole and leave. Fortunately, after the other party spoke for justice, he walked to stand beside Kaioshishi and didn't say anything else inappropriate. Otherwise, she would really have a headache to the point of fainting, and she really wanted to beat up this weird pair of parents. Perhaps because of Zikingayu's sudden intrusion, Kaioshishi's parents, who had been talking endlessly, suddenly fell silent at this time. Seeing this, Lee Kinson cleared her throat and said, Mr. Kaio, Ms. Zhang, it may be inconvenient for me to interfere in your family affairs, but I still have to take care of some things. Shishi's tuition is earned by herself, and I know this very well, because I know which store she works in, and I believe in her character. So I hope you can talk about the facts, and don't make up stories to achieve your goals. Even if Shishi is your daughter, she shouldn't be slandered like this. Even if Zikingayu didn't appear in the office, she would still help Kaioshishi speak. On the one hand, it was because she knew about Kyoshishi's work and knew that she had been making money in Wen Jiu store during the holidays. On the other hand, it was because she believed in Kyoshishi's character and felt that she would never do such a thing. So she was not moved by Zhang Mian and Kao Wantan's words and even wanted to drive them out regardless of etiquette and rules. Point: teachers should be kind-hearted. Zhang Mian sighed in frustration. After being silent for a long time, I'm very happy that you, Teacher Lee, believe in Shishi so much, which makes me feel that it's right for her to come to this college. But, which mother in the world would be willing to have such a quarrel with her child? She really didn't expect that the dean would always speak on Kyoshishi's side. It's a pity that she gave her a gift when she came, which was a waste of her time to choose carefully, and the star coins she spent. If she didn't want to fight for a good future for Kyo Mingming, why would she go to this college full of shabby atmosphere? After she leaves, she must throw away all the clothes on her body and send all the jewelry to the store for cleaning, lest this shabby atmosphere affect her noble temperament. It was only some time ago that she found out that Kyoshishi didn't disappear on purpose, nor did she go on a trip with the young master of the Z family, but was taken away by the 3rd military region. To be honest, she was still worried. After all, Kyoshishi was her daughter, and she had some feelings for her. But after she knew that the other party had received compensation from the Federation, she threw that little worry behind her. Shishi, you also know that your brother has no special abilities. You don't want him to be an ordinary person and do nothing in the future, right? She observed Zikingai while speaking, fearing that she would provoke this young master again. Anyway, your ability is so outstanding. Even if you don't accept the quota given by the Federation headquarters, you can still pass the assessment and go to the military academy. Then you might as well be generous and help your brother. Let the Federation headquarters give him a quota for the Imperial Capital Academy so that he can study at the Imperial Capital Academy. He can help you in the future, and he will definitely not let you suffer. The Imperial Capital Military Academy is dedicated to training people with special abilities, while the Imperial Capital Academy trains people without special abilities. Although there are many schools that train people without special abilities, the Imperial Capital Academy is the best one among them. Those who can be admitted are either excellent students, or those whose families have mines and are willing to spend money, or at least have special skills in some aspects. It is absolutely impossible for someone like Kyo Mingming who has none of the 3 items to enter the Imperial Capital College. So Zhang Mian and Kyo Wantan had never thought about sending Kyo Mingming to such a good college before. They just thought that finding a school on an intermediate planet was already a great joy. Who knew that Kyoshishi actually had a compensation that could be conditional? So the two of them came up with an idea to take the opportunity to send Kyo Mingming to the unattainable Imperial Capital College. The reason why the two of them were willing to go to the 3047 college at the cost of their face was to make Kyoshishi voluntarily give up the priority admission quota given by the federal headquarters and change the compensation plan to ask for a place in the Imperial Capital College for Kyo Mingming. But Kyoshishi is not the Kyoshishi who used to be obedient. She has long seen the true face of her parents who favor boys over girls. So she couldn't possibly give up the precious priority admission quota to help her brother who was as stupid as a pig, but was spoiled to death. Even if she was Zhang Mian's biological daughter, so what? And Kyo Wantan used to treat her like a treasure. The two of them could do this for their son. She might as well be an adopted child. Thinking of this, she took a deep breath. What does it have to do with me if he is an ordinary person and does nothing? There are so many people who do nothing in this world, and I haven't seen other people running to me to blackmail me morally. Besides, it's not shameful to be an ordinary person. As long as you are happy and happy, isn't it enough? You two both think that being an ordinary person is not good, but I don't see how extraordinary you are. Today's 3rd update is also delivered. Thanks again to the lovely little angels. 030. Chapter 1095 Rejecting Moral Blackmail 3. Kyoshishi's words made Kyo Wantan extremely angry. He was so angry that he didn't care about his face and directly scolded. Kyoshishi, don't forget that your last name is Kyo. It is natural for you to help your brother. You already have so much. Why do you still want to compete with Mingming? In fact, before Kyo Mingming was born, he still liked Kyo Shishi very much. Even though he had a serious concept of favoring boys over girls, he still tried to balance food, clothing and daily expenses. Until 2 years ago, he took Kyo Mingming to do a superpower test. He found that the son he had been waiting for so long was actually an ordinary person without superpowers. If it was just that, he wouldn't react so much. After all, people with superpowers are a minority, and ordinary people are the majority. The reason why he began to hate Kyo Shishi and wanted to use her to pave the way for Kyo Mingming was mainly because Kyo Shishi was a superpower, but his beloved son Kyo Mingming was not. You know, he dreamed of having a powerful son to carry on the family line, but the son he gave birth to after all the hard work and even medical treatment was not as good as his casual daughter. So from that time on, he began to hate Kyo Shishi. He always felt that Kyo Shishi had taken away the superpowers that belonged to Kyo Mingming, and that the appearance of the former led to the mediocrity of the latter. If he had not let Kyo Shishi be born, he would have had a son with superpowers. What do you mean by natural and right? What kind of natural and right? Seeing that Kyo Wonsan was about to take action, Zikingai quickly stood in front of Kyo Shishi to block him. Even if Shishi is Kyo Mingming's biological sister, it doesn't mean that she has to help. Also, don't think that your Kyo family is showing off just because it has been on the rise recently. Even if the White family and the Liu family fall, it will not be the turn of a small family like yours to take the top. Besides, our Z family is still sitting firmly in the first chair. What are you, the Kyo family? You are not even worthy of carrying shoes for this young master. Do you understand? After the words fell, a disdainful smile appeared on the jade-like face of the young man, as if he had returned to the young master who disliked everyone. The next second, he whispered to Kyo Shishi gently, I just can't stand their ugly faces. I don't mean to complain, because I feel sorry for you. And, you know I'm scolding them, not you, right? He didn't think too much when he said it, and after he finished speaking, he suddenly realized that his words just now seemed inaccurate, as if he had included Kyo Shishi in it. Got it, Master Chestnut. Kyo Shishi couldn't help but lower her head, hiding the smile in her eyes. I'll come to settle accounts with you later. Let's just be united now. She certainly understood what Zikingai meant, so she wouldn't get angry about that. Besides, she had something more to be angry about now, and she really didn't have time to think about Zikingai's words. Mr. Kyo, Ms. Zhang, I'll say this one last time. Even if you put up a banner at the entrance of 3047 College, or publish my unfilial deeds on Starblog, I will not agree to give the compensation to Kyo Mingming. The smile before was gone in an instant, and only indifference remained in the girl's eyes. Besides, the compensation originally belongs to me. No matter what choice I make, it is not your turn to point fingers. Instead of arguing with me here, you two might as well go back and hire a few more tutors. Otherwise, Kyo Mingming, who is dumber than a pig, will not even understand the cultural courses after entering the college. After all, it is not cheap to take an interstellar spaceship to a mid-level planet. You two should not be rich enough to fly around, right? She had long disliked Kyo Mingming. Although she was his biological sister, she had never received the respect she deserved. Kyo Mingming would always pretend to be well behaved in front of his parents, but his true nature would be exposed as soon as he was alone with her. At first, she could still bear it, but later Kyo Mingming became worse and worse, not even doing superficial work, and completely letting himself go and became a rogue. Her parents still protected Kyo Mingming, thinking that he was just young and ignorant. They even thought that it was her fault as a sister, blaming her for not setting a good example for Kyo Mingming. And now her parents are going to the college to force her to do something so-called magnanimous, just for someone like Kyo Mingming. In this case, she might as well just break up with him. Anyway, it's already ugly enough now. If she doesn't take the opportunity to make some more sarcastic remarks, she will really have a hard time getting over the hatred in her heart. Hearing this, Zhang Mian looked at Kyo Shishi in disbelief. Are you crazy? He is obviously your biological brother. How can you insult him like this? He is obviously just a late learner. It's not as outrageous as you say. And he is obviously very talented in learning. As long as he can go to Imperial Capital College, he will definitely become a pillar of society in the future. It's okay that you are selfish and don't want to help your biological brother, but how can you slander him here unscrupulously? You really broke my heart. Zhang Mian started crying while talking, leaving Li Qinsen speechless. Those students who were watching the show secretly also began to feel sorry for Kao Shishi. They had never seen such a shameless person, let alone parents who were partial to this extent. How can it be natural to smash the daughter's future and then piece it together for the son? Even if they are a family, they can't make up excuses. Ms. Zhang, please calm down first. Li Qinsen pinched her brows helplessly. It won't be long before the end of the semester, and these children will have to study on their own later. They really don't have time to listen to your complaints here. I don't think this matter can be sorted out for a while, so you and your husband might as well wait until the holiday to have a good talk with Shishi. After all, Shishi is your biological child. You don't want her to be affected now and fail the final exam, right? Although she wanted to throw the couple out, she was the dean of 3047 College after all, so she had to say a few polite words to make a big deal out of it. After saying this, Kao Wonshan, who didn't dare to get angry at Ziqingyu, immediately pointed at Li Qinsen and yelled, "How does it bother you that we talk to our own daughter? Is there a rule in your college that parents are not allowed to visit? Don't think I can't hear your hidden meaning. If Kao Shishi doesn't agree to give up the compensation today, my wife and I will stay here and not leave." Kao Shishi couldn't help but clench her fists when she heard this. What she hated most was Kao Wonshan's rogue look. But she couldn't find the right words to fight back, so she could only watch the other party throwing a tantrum in the office. However, the next second, she heard Ziqingyu sneer, "If you don't want to leave, then I'll send you away. After all, I'm a warm-hearted and kind child, and I don't mind helping Teacher Li deal with the garbage." After the other party finished speaking, he smiled and snapped his fingers twice. In the blink of an eye, 4 big men in uniform pushed the door open. Source: today's first update has been successfully delivered. Please check it out. Little Angels. 030. Chapter 1096 Rejecting Moral Blackmail 4. Why did your bodyguard appear in the college? Although Kao Shishi had already eaten dinner and was studying in the library, she was still shocked by the scene that happened in the office a few hours ago. At that time, Ziqingyu raised her chin and snapped her fingers twice, and immediately 4 strong men in uniforms came in, directly carried her weird parents out, and then threw them at the gate of 3047 College. Because Zhang Mian and Kao Wonshan did not dare to provoke Ziqingyu, after the two were thrown out, they fled from the gate in a panic like rats crossing the street. Such a thing is really cool, but she is still very shocked. Why would Ziqingyu bring bodyguards to school, and they are the kind that are on call? She is inseparable from him every day, but she has never noticed the existence of these bodyguards. Why don't they show up in the academy? Ziqingyu shrugged nonchalantly. This young master is a treasure of the Z family. It's normal to have bodyguards protecting him in the dark, isn't it? Seeing this, Kao Shishi couldn't help but snorted. Yes, the young master is right. I'm not very knowledgeable. I shouldn't make a fuss. She wanted to roll her eyes like before and then argue with Ziqingyu for a while. But when she thought about how much help he had given her today, she felt that it was not a good idea for her to do so. So she was extremely entangled for a while and didn't know what to say. PFFT. Alright. Seeing that Kao Shishi wanted to roll her eyes in disgust, but also felt bad and wanted to thank him, Ziqingyu took the initiative to change the subject. Jiug and Heije should be arriving at the end of the month. Then we will go pick them up together. Kao Shishi smiled immediately. Yes. Jiu and Heije will be back at the end of the month. Then how about we go shopping on the weekend, buy some nice decorations, and give them a surprise party? When she thought of Wen Jiu coming back, her previous depression instantly disappeared. That's a good idea. Ziqingyu also laughed. Then I'll tell Ninion Stonet later and ask her to free up this weekend to go shopping with us. Although Stephanie has passed the entrance exam, she still has a big problem in integrating into society. Therefore, Rumen arranged a psychological counselor for her to provide her with psychological counseling and social training every 3 days. Calculating the time, this weekend is exactly the day for counseling and training. So if Zikingayu and Kyoshishi want to date her, they must inform her in advance. Kingayu every day upward. I'm chestnut. Call Feng Feng. Nini likes Jiu Jiu. What does Zhao Bangli want to see me so late? Did you kill someone and need my help to deal with it? Don't worry, I'm very experienced in hiding corpses, and I promise that the relevant departments will not come to my door. Kingayu every day upward. Thank you for your kindness, but unfortunately I'm a good person. Stephanie was lying on the grass, admiring the starry sky while sending messages. When she saw Zikingayu said that she wanted to hold a party for Wen Jiu, her sluggish spirit instantly became excited. She has been bored for a long time and finally waited for a chance to have fun. Nini likes Jiu Jiu. Okay, then I will tell Luobo not to come to me on the weekend. In fact, I think Luobo should stay in the soil. I don't understand why she came out of the soil and said some inexplicable words in front of me. Radish is the nickname she gave to the counselor, not because the other person looks like a radish or the name and appearance are related to radish, but she simply doesn't like to eat radishes, so she thinks this nickname is very good, very suitable for someone she also dislikes. If Rumen hadn't said that, if she didn't accept the counseling well, it would cause trouble for Wen Jiu in the future. She wouldn't have cooperated obediently to listen to a lot of nonsense every 3 days. Alas, she is really a qualified good friend. Thinking of this, she opened the dialogue box with Wen Jiu. Nini likes Jiu Jiu. My little sweetheart Wen, can you arrive at planet 3047 and return the heart that I left with you? Jiu Jiu is rich. It is expected to be the end of the month, but it's hard to say for sure. What are you looking at? You are laughing so happily. Chu Jian saw Wen Jiu laughing non-stop and couldn't help asking curiously. Hearing this, Wen Jiu showed the light screen panel to Chu Jian. Here, this is a message that Nini just sent. She is really interesting. Why didn't I realize before that she is good at saying cheesy words for love? She had a good sleep on the big bed in the lounge, and when she woke up, she saw Fox Kiki and the rabbit spirit competing in cooking. Because both Fox and Rabbit were still busy for a while, she had to stay on the sofa and browse Starblog to kill time. Who knew that she had just opened the light screen panel when she received a message from Stephanie? I can say cheesy words for love, too. Chu Jian snorted with some disdain. It's not like he hasn't used cheesy words to make jokes before, but Wen Jiu didn't laugh as heartily as he did now. Instead, he took out a degreaser and asked him to remove the grease. Why is the other party treating me differently? I know you would too, but please don't say it. Thank you. Wen Jiu typed a message while talking. By the way, why did you chat so much with Zikingayu? Were you infected by his words? Seeing that Stephanie hadn't replied to the message, she clicked on the small group of 5 people. Anyway, I was free, so I might as well look through the chat records to see if there was anything fun. Hearing this, Chu Jian just shrugged. I was just bored, so I chatted a few more sentences. I can see. She flipped through the chat records for a while, then closed the chat box and turned on the drawing mode. Since you are also quite bored, why don't we discuss now and make you a better jewelry? She did not forget the changes in herself and Chu Jian. Although she could suppress them with her own spiritual power, the other party had to carry a spiritual stone with him. Even if a spiritual stone was only the size of a fist, it would not be convenient for Chu Jian to carry it with him all the time. So it would be better to make it into jewelry and wear it. After saying that, the other party thought for a while before answering. Whatever, as long as you make it yourself. You said that. She raised the corner of her mouth, as if watching a good show. I will make you a princess crown directly, and then you can wear it on your head. How about that? She asked Chu Jian seriously what he wanted, but the other party said whatever as usual. In this case, don't blame her for being casual. Today's second update has also been delivered smoothly. Thank you every cute little angel for your support. 030. Chapter 1097. Cooking competition between Fox and Rabbit 1. But Wen Jiu was just joking. She still drew several plans and let Chu Jian make his own choice. So after comparing them repeatedly for a long time, the other party finally chose the plan of making the spirit stone into a bracelet. Just when she wanted to refine the design of the bracelet, she saw Hu Baba running over with excitement. In order to save space in the main cabin, whether it was Hu Baba or other demons, they all kept their original bodies. So the picture she saw was a snow white fox running over with all four paws, and a lot of hair fell with it, forming a snow in the blink of an eye. Boss, the dishes of the seventh brother and the stupid rabbit are ready. Hu Baba raised his front paw excitedly and patted Wen Jiu's calf. The dishes made by the seventh brother are so fragrant that my saliva is almost flowing. I'm waiting for those stinky rabbits who think highly of themselves to open their eyes and let them know that our snow fox tribe is also very good at cooking. Although she has no talent in cooking, it does not affect her mocking those rabbit spirits. Anyway, Hu Kiki is of the same tribe as her, and if the other party is powerful, it means she is powerful. Hearing this, Wen Jiu closed the light curtain panel, stood up and walked out of the lounge. She glanced over and saw that the table outside was full of dishes, as if a party was about to start. No wonder Fox Kiki and the rabbit spirit had been in the kitchen for so long. It turned out that they were making so many dishes to compete. TSK, this fox and rabbit are really hard working. Because of the consideration of all the monsters present, the ingredients are quite limited. So most of the dishes are vegetarian, and only a few are delicious meat dishes. Of course, there is another important reason for the small number of meat dishes. That is, the Jade Rabbit clan does not like to eat meat. 38, 39, 40. Wen Jiu couldn't help but count in his mind. Unexpectedly, during her rest time, Fox Kiki and another rabbit spirit actually made more than 50 dishes. It can be said that this fox and rabbit made half a table of Manchuhan banquet. Fox Kiki originally maintained a cold aura that kept strangers away, but it disappeared instantly when she saw Wen Jiu appear. He ran to the other party shyly. Master, come and try my cooking. I guarantee it's 100 times better than that stupid rabbit's. As soon as he finished speaking, Tu King, who wanted to compete with him, said, Miss Wen, please be sure to try my cooking skills. We are a little weak in fighting, but we are definitely better than the Snow Fox clan in cooking. Bah. My seventh brother's cooking skills were trained by my boss. Excuse me, how dare you say that your Jade Rabbit clan is better? Hu Baba used the fox using the tiger trick to the extreme. When Tu King heard this, the pride on her face suddenly diminished a lot. Although she knew from the conversation that Hu Kiki was Wen Jiu's apprentice, she didn't know that the other party's cooking skills were also taught by Wen Jiu himself. In this way, she would definitely lose. However, just when she was feeling discouraged, she suddenly saw Wen Jiu smiling at her. Since you two are now competing, I will evaluate you fairly and impartially. She couldn't help but get excited when she heard this. She thought she was going to lose this time, but she didn't expect the other party to be a very fair person. It seems that what the tribe leader said was indeed right. Miss Wen is a super nice person. Seeing this, Hu Kiki and Hu Baba didn't say much. Although the two little foxes really wanted to see the Jade Rabbit tribe make a fool of themselves, they didn't want Wen Jiu to protect them at this time. After all, fair competition is more interesting in competitions. Wen Jiu first took a pair of chopsticks and then a clean bowl. She had been hungry for a long time, and now she just wanted to eat meat. So she decisively walked to the ketchup prawns, thinking of eating some shrimp meat to fill her stomach. The fiery red prawns were arranged in a circle, as beautiful as flowers blooming in spring, and in the middle was a green herb, which could add color and fragrance. The shiny shrimps were wrapped in a layer of crystal clear ketchup, which made people hungry just by looking at them. Seeing this, she immediately picked up a shrimp and ate it. Because the shrimp shells had been fried thin and transparent, there was no need to peel them off. The red, crispy and oily shrimp shells made a charming sound of crunching when they touched the teeth, as if someone was playing beautiful music at this moment. And the moment this music sounded, it was the ultimate taste experience. The sour and sweet ketchup was full of umami, which suddenly activated the dormant taste buds. Then use your teeth to pierce the thin and crispy shrimp shells, and you can taste the plump shrimp meat. It is delicious, smooth, delicate, and tender. When chewing, you can also feel a little elasticity, which is really pleasant. Well, not bad, not bad. Wen Jiu exclaimed as he ate. This tomato sauce prawn is well cooked. The sweet and sour taste is just right, and people won't feel sick if they eat too much. Although most sweet and sour dishes are appetizing, eating too much will make people feel sick. This tomato sauce prawn is particularly well cooked. She ate 6 or 7 prawns in a row without feeling sick, and even ate more and more happily. Hearing this, King couldn't help but straighten her chest. She was still worried that her cooking skills would be criticized. After all, Wen Jiu could compete with Su. She never expected that the other party would like her tomato sauce prawns so much, which was a big surprise for her. But she was only happy for a while, and then she saw Wen Jiu turned around and walked to the lotus leaf glutinous rice chicken. This lotus leaf glutinous rice chicken was made by Hukiki halfway through. On the one hand, because there were too few meat dishes, and she needed to make a few meat dishes. On the other hand, it was because fox spirits all love to eat chicken. So he ignored the grumpy bluebirds and directly took out the chicken that had been killed in advance to cook. Strangely enough, those bluebirds don't eat chicken, saying that they can't eat chicken if they are of the same race. But he didn't bother to pay attention to what the bluebird said. He just wanted to eat the delicious chicken. The appearance of this lotus leaf glutinous rice chicken is okay, Wen Jiu said, because he had just eaten some prawns in tomato sauce, so he was not as hungry as at the beginning, so he had the leisure to evaluate the appearance of the dish. But next time you can skip the plating. It will be better to use the original shape. The green lotus leaves are filled with shiny diced chicken and pearl-like glutinous rice. The shallow heat continued to rise, and there was a sense of artistic conception in the haziness. It's just that the love carefully arranged with diced chicken is more or less a bit deliberate, and it abruptly destroys this natural atmosphere. After the words fell, Hukiki, who was standing aside, swallowed silently. He mainly wanted to please Wen Jiu, but he didn't expect that he would make things worse. The third update has also been successfully delivered. Thanks again to the little angels for their support. 030. Chapter 1098. Cooking competition between Fox and Rabbit 2. The crystal clear and plump white glutinous rice was soft and dense, and was stained with some gravy during steaming, with a hint of salty and fresh meat flavor. This salty and sweet experience was very wonderful. Wen Jiu scooped several mouthfuls with a spoon before he started eating the diced chicken wrapped in it. The diced chicken was fried in hot oil before steaming, so it was not only soft and chewy, but also had a thin layer of fresh and fragrant crispy skin. This chicken is very well processed, she commented softly while eating. You can tell that it took a lot of effort. As soon as she ate the chicken, she knew that this lotus leaf glutinous rice chicken was made by Hukiki. However, she still maintained a fair and impartial attitude, and after talking about the advantages, she also talked about the shortcomings of the other party. For a dish like this, there is no need to deliberately arrange it on the plate. The natural state will be more attractive, she said, and scooped another spoonful with a spoon. Unlike the previous tasting of glutinous rice grains and diced chicken separately, this time she directly mixed the two with a spoon. The sweet glutinous rice and the salty and fresh chicken were chewed together, just like playing happily in the paradise called deliciousness. The best thing is that Hukiki also cut a little mushroom into it. The mellow aroma of mushrooms was perfectly diffused during the steaming and mixed with the fresh fragrance of chicken. There was also a faint sweet fragrance of glutinous rice and the unique fragrance brought by lotus leaves. Layer after layer of aroma sent Wen Jiu into the sky, which made her intoxicated and unable to extricate herself. The chicken was tender and juicy, the glutinous rice was soft and sweet, and the mushrooms were mellow and refreshing. The taste experience was just as rich and colorful, no less than the beauty brought to the sense of smell. While eating, she sighed silently in her heart. It seems that she will continue to cultivate Hukiki in the future. When she stabilizes Taoiao's development, she will open a big hotel and restaurant, and then arrange for him to be the head. In fact, King's cooking skills are not bad, but Hukiki is her apprentice, so she has to give him some small benefits. As she thought about it, she picked up another dish that interested her. The milky red roast duck was shining with an attractive oily luster, and underneath it were a few pieces of emerald green lettuce with water drops still on it, and next to it was a camellia carved from white radish. This appearance was very attractive, and no one could resist it. Seeing this, Wen Jiu could not help but nod his head in approval. It seemed that it was the right choice for her to work for the Yeo clan on the Desolate Star. It would not take long for her to open a big restaurant. But before that, she should be down to earth and develop Tao. The presentation of the roast duck is very suitable, and the white radish is also very well carved. It can be seen that the chef who made this dish is very good at knife skills. As she spoke, she used chopsticks to poke the duck skin and picked up a piece of light yellow duck meat. As soon as she put it in her mouth, the mellow aroma of duck meat immediately spread and invaded her taste buds very domineeringly. Every cell in her body was clamoring to eat this piece of duck meat quickly, so she bit down decisively, piercing the crispy duck skin with her teeth. The crispy and fragrant duck skin broke at the touch, and a little duck oil flowed out. The mellow aroma of duck oil surprised her, but she didn't have the time to sigh, just started chewing the duck meat. The duck meat, as tender as tofu, was not dry at all, and it tasted fresh, juicy and spicy. If you taste it carefully, you can also taste the fresh and spicy taste in it, which is a unique experience that can only be brought by Sichuan pepper. Because the two dishes she had eaten before were sweet, it was very comfortable to eat the roast duck now. It was as if she had afternoon tea with her little sister and entered the hot pot restaurant in the evening glow. Sure enough, people are greedy. No matter how delicious the desserts are, you can't let go of the spicy dishes. Then when Jiu tasted some other dishes, and when she really couldn't eat anymore, she put down her bowl and chopsticks with satisfaction. Seeing this, the most nervous King silently encouraged herself, and then asked in a low voice, "Miss Wen, which dish do you think is your favorite? Point you ask me this question." She took a sip of hawthorn tea that helps digestion, and then continued, "Because I think these dishes are all good, so if you want me to choose the favorite one now, I really can't choose it for a while." She didn't mean to perfunctorily answer to King. She really couldn't choose it now. After she finished speaking, Kiki on the side said, "Then master, do you want to vote? First vote for the 5 dishes you think are the most delicious, and then choose the one you like the most later." When she heard this, she nodded. "Okay, but it's better to vote anonymously." On the surface, this competition is a contest between Ukiki and King, but in fact it is a small struggle between the Snow Fox clan and the Jade Rabbit clan. So she felt that for the sake of fairness and to let everyone vote with peace of mind, it would be better to adopt an anonymous system. "Boss, you are right. Baba found a box from somewhere, then put your votes in it, and the other monsters will put them in it. When everyone has voted, we will count the votes and decide the winner this time." Hearing this, Wen Jiu took the paper and pen from the side, and after recalling for a moment, she wrote down the 5 dishes she was most satisfied with. Then she folded the paper and threw it into Baba's box. "Okay, you all hurry up and taste them. These dishes will get cold if you leave them out any longer." Seeing that the monsters were looking at them eagerly, she quickly told everyone to go eat. After she finished speaking, the little animals turned into human forms, and they lined up very obediently, tasting the dishes one by one. Because the monsters still needed paper and pen to write, there were a lot of paper and pens prepared in the main cabin, so there was no need to worry about not being able to find paper and pens. So after everyone finished tasting, they started writing their own pieces of paper. About an hour later, it was finally time to count the votes and announce the results. In order to be fair, the vote counting was done by Fox-san, Rabbit Bang Bang and King Yi. Do you think Fox Kiki will win, or the little rabbit? Because they still had to wait for the 3 monsters to count the final results. Chujian started his favorite way of fanning the flames and watching the show. Hearing this, Wen Jiu shrugged calmly. "I don't have the final say in this game, so it's useless for you to ask me for the result. Otherwise, you can join the counting team now, so that you can know the final result as soon as possible." She knew that Chujian especially liked to fan the flames, and she also knew how to deal with the other party best. Sure enough, as soon as she finished speaking, Chujian was speechless. The other party just took the remaining paper and pen and wrote and drew on it to pass the time. Today's first update has been successfully delivered. Please check it out, little angels. 030. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1099, Meeting Friends is Infinitely Happy 1. This cooking contest between foxes and rabbits ended with Hukiki winning. Because the Beijing-style pork shreds made by Hukiki were so delicious, even the jade rabbits who didn't like meat couldn't help but eat them. But the raccoons refused to eat pork. Even though Hukiki explained that it was the meat of the Gilu beast, they firmly refused because it looked too much like a pig. But this did not prevent other monsters from liking Beijing-style pork shreds. So this dish eventually topped the list with the highest number of votes and helped Hukiki win this fierce competition. Wen Jiu thought that the competition between the monsters was over, but he didn't expect that during the next month of sailing, they used various reasons to compete in various competitions. Of course, because the Snow Fox clan and the Jade Rabbit clan were the first to start the war, the competition between the two was also the most. Until Wen Jiu's interstellar spaceship arrived at planet 3047, the Snow Fox clan and the Jade Rabbit clan had a total of 48 games. Coincidentally, the two actually tied. Okay, your competition ends here. You are not allowed to compete again in the short term. I don't have that much energy to be a judge for you. Wen Jiu just received the message from Yao Fengyan. Knowing that the spaceship would arrive at the port in half an hour, she packed up and gave instructions to the monsters. Hearing this, the dog monsters and the raccoon tribe, who were about to propose a pit digging competition in the evening, swallowed their unfinished words in a rare tacit understanding. And it's time for you to change back to your original form. She stuffed Hukiki and Hubaba into a portable pet box. I will ask Brother Yao to put you in the transport box later, and then put you on the car and transport you to your destination. Because Hukiki and Hubaba were both her pets, she would definitely take the two little foxes back to the villa. As for the other monsters, she planned to send them all to the stray animal shelter according to the plan. She contacted Wan Nan the day before yesterday, and the other party would send a few hovercrafts to meet her, so she didn't have to worry about transportation. However, she still had to accompany these demons to the stray animal shelter. After all, they were all new to the human world and still had a lot of nervousness and confusion. After she finished speaking, a small number of demons who maintained their human form turned into animals in the blink of an eye. We are finally going to planet 3047. I really can't stand being crowded with these idiots every day, Hubaba muttered in the pet box. To be honest, I would rather sleep on the floor in the living room with you every day than sleep on the sofa with these idiots. Hukiki on the side couldn't help but groan. Don't take this opportunity to belittle me. I'm not as stupid as Quan Do. I can hear that you have something to say. He didn't want to sleep on the sofa with other demons, nor did he want to sleep on the floor in the living room with Hubaba. He just wanted to have his own room and occupy a big and soft bed alone. Hubaba stuck out his tongue like a fool. She was about to continue chatting with Hukiki, but was suddenly attracted by a dog demon. The dog demon sat alone on the edge, out of tune with the other dog demons who were sniffing each other's butts. Seeing this, she couldn't help but complain in a low voice. Why are you pretending? Everyone knows that dog demons like to sniff each other's butts the most. Do you think you can fool the boss by pretending to be civilized at this time? What are you talking about? Hukiki heard the sound and came over curiously. Hey, why does that dog demon look weird? When she heard this, she quickly agreed. Really? I was wondering how a dog demon would not sniff butts after changing back to its original form. Although they are all demon tribes with cultivation, they still retain certain animal habits. For example, the Jade Rabbit tribe has a special liking for vegetarian dishes, and their Snow Fox tribe particularly likes to eat chicken, and the Lily tribe particularly likes to dig holes. These are their animal habits, which cannot be changed in any way. And what the dog demon tribe likes most is to lick each other's fur and sniff each other's butts after changing back to their original form. but the dog demon just sat aside and didn't participate in the activities of the other dog demons at all. This was really strange. TSK, I don't know why, but I always feel that this dog demon is not right, who Baba secretly observed for a while. Hearing this, Hukiki nodded and said, oh, I think so too. How about I go and tell Master, so that she can be more careful in her daily life. However, Baba raised his paw and slapped him. If anyone should go, I should be the one to tell her. I was the first one to find out that something was wrong. Hukiki, can you stop trying to steal my credit all day long? As soon as she finished speaking, Hukiki returned her palm mercilessly. Oh. Who is trying to steal your credit? It's obvious that we both discovered this together. Baba, can you not be so selfish? I'm selfish? Say that again. She was so angry that she scratched him with her paw again. If I were selfish, I wouldn't give you half of the place I managed to grab when you were squeezed out and had no place to sleep. The two little foxes, who had been living in peace, suddenly started fighting while chatting. Seeing this, Wen Jiu, who had just put his things into the Ziggy space, hurried over and picked up the pet box. What happened to you two? She asked as she handed a small corn in. You two were fine just now. Why did you suddenly start fighting? The cage I bought is the cheapest one, but it can't withstand the fight between you two. She had been using the pet box given by the Animal Management Bureau, but after the addition of Baba, the box was left unused. There was no way. The box was too small to fit two foxes. With her warning, Hukiki and Baba temporarily calmed down, but the two little foxes were still angry, as if the other owed them millions of star coins. Although she wanted to ask the two little foxes why they were fighting, Yeo Fengan had already rang the doorbell outside the cabin, so she had to put the pet box aside and pretend that there were two ordinary pets in it. Miss Wen, the spacecraft will arrive at the port in 10 minutes. Yeo Fengan also brought a few quick-handed team members in order to save you time. How about we start packing now? Hearing this, Wen Jiu nodded decisively. Anyway, it has to be loaded sooner or later, so why not load the monsters now? When the interstellar spaceship lands at the port, they can directly enter the transportation link. So she began to arrange how to divide the boxes, while Yeo Fengan and others were responsible for putting the monsters into the boxes. It must be said that the people brought by Yeo Fengan worked very efficiently. The moment the interstellar spaceship successfully entered the port, all the monsters were also loaded into boxes with ventilation holes, and even food and drinking water. Source. Today's second update is also delivered. Thank you little angels for your support. 030. Whispering. The animal habits here are all nonsense made up by the little author. Please don't take them seriously. Thank you. Chapter 1100. Meeting friends. Bringing infinite happiness to Jiu. Welcome home. Do you have any special surprises? This is the result of our careful preparation for most of the day. Wen Jiu had just stepped into the small garden when she heard a bang. The next second, a crimson smoke appeared in the sky, which looked like it was covered by red clouds. In the blink of an eye, the crimson smoke dissipated a lot, and 6 large purple characters appeared. Welcome Jiu home. Because the crimson smoke dissipated at this moment, when the purple characters appeared, the originally blue sky was dyed pink and purple. At the same time, small flags suddenly rose from the flowers. Some were painted with cute versions of Wen Jiu's patterns, and some were written with shiny words. Wen Jiu could tell from these handwritings and painting styles which ones were written by Zikingayu, which ones were written by Kyoshishi, and which ones were Stephanie's artistic creations. Seeing this, she couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth. Although this surprise was a little strange, she was still very happy. It seems that everyone really missed her during her absence. How is it? Zikingayu came over impatiently. The daytime fireworks were my idea. It cost a lot of star coins to order the fireworks. But don't worry, I won't ask you for star coins. Hearing this, she suppressed her smile and replied, I know. Thank you for your generosity. I like it very much. If it were in normal times, she would definitely say a few words to Zikingayu, but the other party made her very happy today, so forget it. Anyway, there is no need to say those words today. Jiu. Kyoshi quickly ran over and took her arm. What do you think of these small flags? These are all made by me. Although Xiao Bangli and Feng Feng also participated, I was mainly responsible for making them. When she heard this, she quickly responded, I think it's great. Very thoughtful. I have received your full thoughts and love. In fact, she would not say such words on weekdays because she felt that no matter how much she said, it would not be as good as doing practical things. But today is different, so she still said it. Some sweet words are still necessary. As expected, with her words of praise, Kyoshi and Zikingai both laughed even more happily. They pulled her to the villa, one on each side, saying that they had prepared a bigger surprise for her inside. Seeing this, Chujian, who was left behind with the pet box, couldn't help but groan. TSK, it seems that I have been forgotten by them. Not necessarily. Stephanie, who was walking next to him, took over the topic with a smile. Maybe they have never thought of you. He was even more speechless when he heard this. Feng Feng, although we are not familiar with each other, you don't have to poke my pain like this, right? Because everyone thinks it is not polite to call Xiao Fengzi. The nickname changed from Xiao Fengzi to Feng Feng, and finally from Feng Feng to the more friendly Feng Feng. Wow, I just said a few words casually. Stephanie stuck out her tongue playfully, but it's true that we are not familiar with each other, so please stay away from me, lest I accidentally. The little flying knife is coming. The other party took out a dagger from somewhere, which made him tense up and alert instantly. He knew he shouldn't be the last one. Without Wen Jiu, Stephanie was an unpredictable monster, so the smile on his face gradually disappeared, leaving only a faint coldness in his eyes. Even if Stephanie and Wen Jiu were friends, if the other party really wanted to attack, he would not show mercy. However, the next second, Stephanie threw the dagger and stabbed the fruit on the tree with great accuracy. She quickly stepped forward to pick up the fruit, then wiped it casually with her clothes and walked back while chewing it. Kitty, do you want to eat? She chewed the fruit with a smile. This is a fruit tree planted by Xiao Kiki before he left. It has already produced several rounds of fruit. It is very sweet. Before Chujian, who looked cold, could answer, he heard Hukiki, who was nestled in the pet box, say, oh, please give me a fruit. Although Hukiki had planted a lot of fruits and vegetables diligently, he used the fast-growing soil in the fields, so all the fruit trees were flowering and bearing fruit normally. He had not tasted the fruit before he left. So even though he knew that there was a lot of tension between Chujian and Stephanie, he still bit the bullet and asked the latter for the freshly produced fruit. However, what he didn't know was that it was because of his appearance that Chujian relaxed a little and Stephanie temporarily gave up the idea of a showdown. So the two of them maintained superficial peace and walked into the main hall of the villa peacefully. Wen Jiu was sitting on the sofa, surrounded by Kyoshi and Zikingai on the left and right. I'm ready. I can't wait to hear your interesting travel stories. Don't be so anxious, Xiao Banli. Let Jiu take a good rest first, and we can chat while eating later. Of course, Jiu, if you are not tired now, you can also talk to us. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled and talked about the interesting things he encountered during this trip. Although most of them were posted by her in the group, Kyoshi and Zikingai still listened with relish. At the end, she changed the topic back. By the way, I have conquered 5 demon tribes. I also brought back a lot of demons, and I will take you to see them tomorrow. In fact, she had mentioned this matter in the group before, but Kyoshi and Zikingai were focusing on preparing surprises, so they forgot about it for a while. Oh, look at my memory. Zikingai slapped her forehead. Sister Jiu, did you take us to the stray animal center to properly place the monsters you brought back? He then remembered what happened at the stray animal shelter an hour and a half ago. He was thinking about the surprise he had prepared at the time, so he didn't listen to what Wen Jiu said, and didn't notice that there was anything different about those animals. Now that he thinks about it, he really missed a great opportunity. Well, a good opportunity to greet new colleagues. After all, he is also one of Teo Iao's employees, and will work with those monsters in the future. Hearing this, Wen Jiu pinched his eyebrows helplessly. It seems that you really forgot about this matter. Do you remember that I said before that I brought a few monsters back to the villa? Because she felt that she needed to train a few core employees, she selected one from each monster and brought them back to the villa to get along with them day and night to increase their feelings. Of course, this is only one of the reasons. Another reason is that she needs to find a suitable reason to take away Huzaosi, who is disguised as a dog monster. The third update has also been successfully delivered, thanks again to the little angels for their support. 030. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.